radio today or call 866-806-5485 to upgrade today because life runs better on fiber and i3 broadband is here for you. It's partly cloudy, 82 degrees. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
Chris Ronchi, Amy Mark Scores, The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Good morning, friends. How we doing on a Monday? It is Amy and Chris, and we are here with you until 12, and then we've got baseball talk and stuff on the Gas House Gang, so we hope you'll stick around for that. Really, just stay with us all day. Got all kinds of great programming on KMOX, and that culminates with baseball tonight. 314-436-7900 to visit with us by calling and texting. Leave us voice messages on the Odyssey app as well, and we might play your message if it's good. If you've got something to say, you could hear yourself.
If it's good or if it is
really bad.
Really bad.
Yeah. If it's just okay, you probably won't hear it.
If it's boring, man.
Yeah, we don't need boring.
Life's too short for boring radio.
That's what that promo says.
I know.
And we didn't even write it. We're like, you can talk about us? Also, you can watch the show if you want to on Facebook. We're on YouTube and Twitter. Follow us on Twitter at ChrisAmyKMOX.
Time now for the top of the order. The top 3 stories everyone will be talking about.
I believe we are living in literal hell. It is so damn hot. It is.
I don't think hell is humid. I think hell's a dry heat.
Is it a dry heat?
I think so.
Well, it feels like we're burning for all of eternity today. And we are. Yes, it's hot. It is so hot, and we have a heat advisory in effect. An extreme heat warning in effect until tonight.
Too.
And in the studio, yes.
And, ever heard of Prop U?
Today.
What is it? We don't know. No, and honestly, in all honesty, on the August 4th ballot, we've talked a lot about Amendment 4 and Amendment 5, but for St. Louis County voters, Prop U, which has to do with a use tax on online out-of-state purchases. We'll get the details on what exactly it is from Kate Thompson, Advocacy Committee Chair for the St. Louis Realtors.
And the Cardinals lost the series to the Reds at home, and they will begin a 4-game series tonight against their division rival Chicago Cubs, who are in town. Starting with a 5:50 pregame show tonight. We got the broadcast, then a 6:45 first pitch from Busch Stadium. So the Cubs are in town. Big series always at Busch.
I think it
and
will.
The Cardinals need to pick it up. This last week, not good. Not good by the Birds.
A couple of weeks ago, I think I asked Matt Pauley. I said, I know we're not in the business of prognosticating, but do you see the Cardinals dropping below 500 before you see them gaining a few games? And of course, he didn't know. I don't know. We don't know. But we're flirting now. We're getting closer to 500 than I was hoping.
Yeah, I mean, if this team ends up being around a 500 team, I don't think that's not a surprise. We all kind of figured.
And like we said, if the Cardinals don't get that final wild card spot and don't make the playoffs, I'm actually not going to be that sad.
And you shouldn't.
Because honestly, it's already been more fun than we were expecting.
Yeah.
And the whole point of this team is, yes, be competitive as much as they can this year, which they have, but you're looking towards the future. I have so much hope and so much excitement for the future that I am not going to be that sad. Am I throwing in the towel? Absolutely not. Of course you want to see them win. You want winning baseball, but I am not going to be heartbroken if they don't make the playoffs this year, because in a few years, I think we'll be looking at not just playoffs, but World Series. Because ultimately, our goal should not be to get the final wild card spot. Our goal should be to win the World Series.
That's the way it always should be, or within reason. I know not every team can do that every season, but we'll see what happens. I do think that they'll be in the conversation. I've been saying this for weeks, and I think it's true. Just because of the nature of the National League, I don't think it's that good. So, there's a middle of teams that's not particularly good. So they can still be competitive once they get into September. But if they miss out, I'm not going to be overall all that surprised. So, Amy.
Yes.
Yesterday, I think we peaked at 101 temperature.
Yeah.
And the worst, because I monitored.
Well, it's funny because I had friends, family members, and I myself were all monitoring and screenshotting the weather apps on our phones.
Yes. So yesterday we got up to a heat index
Yes.
or a real feel of 123.
Nice work, everyone.
123.
Nice work, everyone.
I said literal hell. It's pretty damn close to it. That is awful.
That's unbelievable.
And we do have the heat warning. It is an extreme heat warning that is still in effect today, so we're not in the clear yet. That is until 9 o'clock tonight. So we're still going to be, it's going to be gross at 8:30 p.m. That's just, I hate it. And we're not even to August yet.
I think I checked my phone at, was it 6 a.m. this morning? And it said 84. Is that possible? Is that right that it was 84? At any rate, yeah.
Like 84 degrees.
And the real feel was like 98. And I just want to say, I personally have a fascination or obsession with dew point, as I believe my partner here,
I do
Chris
too.
Ranji, does as well.
Yeah.
And yesterday, and I forgot to look, when I saw the hottest real feel, mine was 121 and the temperature was 99. So I missed the 101. I didn't monitor it quick enough. But I forgot to go to the dew point. So I checked the dew point later and it was 84. So was the dew point higher than 84 yesterday? Because the highest dew point I've ever seen is 84. Because let me just remind you, 75 is Amazonian rainforest. Really anything over 70 is rainforest. 84, I've never seen it before. I screenshotted it. I freaked out. I'm going to frame it.
Maybe when I was in Tampa 12 years ago visiting, maybe I think we had one of those days in July, but not here. I've not noticed it here before. 84 is crazy. Okay, just so people know, you might look, if you want to know how humid it's going to feel out, you might look at the humidity percentage and go, oh, well, 70 is not that bad. That's not what you look for. You look at dew point. That'll tell you how it's going to feel, right? So anywhere between 50 and 60 is still pretty good. Feels comfortable. You know, lower than 50 is dry. Once you get over 60, then you're going to start to feel a little bit of humidity. Over 70 is horrible. So 80 is whatever's worse than horrible. That's what 80 is.
Can I ask what birthed your interest in dew point?
I had a meteorologist girlfriend. She made me learn it. She's like, it's not the humidity percentage. That's not what you look at. It's the dew point. I went, oh, okay.
I love it so much.
Thank you.
Because Ranj and I are so opposite in so many areas, but there are really weird connection points, like dew point and White Christmas.
Yep.
This weirdest things ever, because mine is way less exciting and way more predictable. Although I guess your girlfriend's story is somewhat predictable, but mine is running because you actually have to. It's like physically impossible to perform at certain levels when the dew point's that high, right? It's like being at altitude. If you're at 15,000 feet, you can't perform the same way. And so people will have to adjust race times and workout times because it is like trying to breathe in a bowl of Jell-O, hot Jell-O.
Just yuck, right? I mean, it's so bad. And yesterday, because we have Harambe texting in, who says he's got tickets for the game tonight. Bleacher seats, please pray for me.
Oh.
So yesterday at Busch Stadium, and part of it is because it's the season and it's not been a great season, although the attendance is a little better this year than it was last year, but not by a lot. It was the smallest crowd ever.
Yeah.
That was not a 2021 season, the COVID seasons, they don't count. But for a season that is a regular year, it was the lowest ever attendance for a weekend game. And that's the first time we've had it like that.
Yeah.
And you looked at, if you were watching the game on TV or catching highlights later, there was nobody in the bleachers.
Do you know, though, my first thought...
maybe a dozen people it looked like. It must have been miserable out there yesterday.
My first thought, to be honest, watching the game was not... Man, there's no one there. My first thought was, how is anyone there?
How is anyone there? Yes.
Even in the green seats.
Yeah. 22,852.
And Leahy threw 101 pitches. Is that right?
He threw...
I thought he threw over 100, just over 100.
That could be correct.
But, so
yes,
my question
102.
is,
102.
Isn't it worse on the field? And you don't really get a lot of wind, right? Like, I was really impressed the fact that Leahy could go out there and pitch when the heat index is 123 and throw 101 pitches, that's not a small feat, right?
I mean, the Reds guy did too. He threw 100.
Yeah.
6
I don't know
innings.
how you do it.
I don't know, man. But
Can you imagine sitting there in the sun in the bleachers eating a hot dog?
or nachos with peppers on them,
Oh, it's so hot.
or just a real big greasy cheeseburger. Oh my Lord.
No.
That must have been. So if you were at the ball game yesterday, how awful was it?
Yeah, 3-1-4.
We're not talking about the outcome of the score, but we're talking about the Heat. Let us know. Amy, by the way, made a fool of herself once again.
Okay, guys. Okay. There was so many things to talk about today and just not enough time. Maybe we should take over the Gas House Gang and just keep our show going through to the 12 o'clock hour. So Matt Pajeski and I and Michael Kelly and Noah, my best hiking buddy, we went to see Connor Smith at Dee's place. Connor Smith is the country singer who's breaking out. He's got the new song, Ball Game on the radio.
We talked to him. You talked to him on Friday.
We talked to him on Friday.
And
he
you
was
and
in
I,
studio.
Actually, you might have been out.
No, we talked to him on the phone.
Okay, and that was about a month or so ago.
Yep. And he threw out the first pitch of the game on Friday night. We talked to him on Friday. And Saturday, he had like a early concert. It said 11:30. It started a bit later, but 11:30 at Dee's place in Soulard.
Great place.
I don't know what I was thinking, but first of all, great place, great venue. Connor Smith was awesome. I love his music. I love his voice. I could get into how I became a country music convert as well. And, of course, that was through Noah, who has made me cooler than I am. But so I failed. So here's what happened.
I mean, she hasn't done that good of a job.
She's done so much good. You have no idea how bad it was before 2017.
Oh.
It was so bad. But
Actually,
anyway,
I've seen photos.
So I have a long run on Saturday morning, as I do. And so I've just run in the heat 18 miles. I get coffee with my buddies. We go home, and I've got to, like, shower, and I'm in a hurry, and I'm moving kind of slow, and I realize I'm running late for this concert. So I shower, wet hair or whatever, throw on, some clothes, and go to Dee's place, expecting just to see, like Matt and Michael Kelly and Noah, not really knowing exactly, I don't know, I didn't give it that much thought. But I showed up and I'm like, oh, there's, some radio stations there. And I walk in and there's a group of guys as soon as I walk in, like 4 guys. And one of them is Ranji's friend, Marty.
Oh, yeah.
I know Marty. And so I walk up to him, but I'm feeling flustered because I've been rushed, right? Rushed to the shower, rushed to get dressed. Don't put makeup on, don't dry your hair or anything, just rush to get there. And I walk up to this guy because I see Marty because he's like the tallest of the group. I go, oh, you're Chris Ranji's friend. Not thinking he would remember me. And he turns, he goes, Amy, and he gave me a hug. And then
He's a nice fella.
He's a nice guy. And I turn, and the guy next to Marty goes to, hey, how are you? Gives me a hug. And I realize, oh, that's Ollie Marmol.
Such an idiot.
And I didn't
You
know.
are such.
But I've only met Ollie. This shows you how great Ollie is. I have met Ollie one time. I'm not on the Gas House Gang. I don't talk to Ollie. I've met him one time. It was at Adam Wainwright's concert. And he remembered me.
Well,
and then
Amy,
he faked it.
In fairness, no, I think he probably did remember you, but in fairness, it's really tough to forget this. Like, I mean, if you meet somebody like that, you will always remember
Imagine you're flustered, you're hyped up on caffeine, but you're also severely dehydrated. And all of a sudden you realize, oh, that's the manager of the Cardinals. And another guy's like, hey, how are you? And I'm like, it gives me a hug. It's John Jay. And I'm seeing these people one at a time. I have tunnel vision. And then another guy turns, he's like, hey, and he sticks out his hand, and he's like, I'm sorry, how are you? I go, I'm sorry, what was your name? He said, Stubby.
The Stubby clap.
Yeah. I was like, oh. And then all of a sudden, I realized not only did I, walk in and interrupt this group, but that I was, I forgot to be professional, and I just freaked out. And I got turned into super awkward Amy. Instead of prepared Amy, it would have said, Marty, great to see. Ollie, great. Isn't this a great venue? Wonderful that Connor Smith is playing. Delightful to see you here. Have a good day. But instead, I was like, hey, my hair's wet. Oh, no. Oh, I ran. That's Noah. She's a professional runner. We go hiking. Well, anyway, our hair is wet. Bye. That's what I did. And then all I could think of was, dear Lord, please let them forget this moment. Please. So, Ollie, if you're listening, I'm so sorry. I got flustered. I freaked out. I forgot that I'm supposed to be, we're KMOX and we are professionals. And I just turned into a flustered girl going, oh my gosh, look at my hair is wet. Ooh. And I don't know what happened. I think I was dehydrated and underfueled. But I embarrassed all of us.
It's not your personality. There must have been external factors.
Yeah.
You're right.
Guys,
yeah.
I embarrassed KMOX in front of Ali and John Jay and Stubby
It's
Clapp.
just another day, isn't it?
I was just such a fool.
Texter here says, of course you two are wrong again. It's not how high the dew point is. It's how close the dew point is with the actual temperature that determines if it's humid.
Yeah, but it's hot.
God.
And
these people.
The know-it-alls.
We have some of the dumbest text messengers.
If anybody
But we
knows
love
Ali,
you.
tell
We
him
love
I
you.
didn't mean to be an idiot.
Let me go tell the meteorologist she's wrong. Hey, a lot of stuff happened over the weekend. We'll get to it. We got a lot coming up on the show. Matt Pauley will talk some Cardinals with us at 10:30. As Amy mentioned, we're going to find out more about this Prop U. Whatever that is, you get to vote on it soon. We'll find out more about that at 10 o'clock on KMOX.
When Donald Trump needs conservative votes to help pass his agenda for Missouri, Representative Trisha Burns never answers the call. Trisha Burns has missed 370 votes. Burns is bucking President Trump's priorities. Burns did not vote to stop DEI initiatives, prevent China from owning Missouri land, defund Planned Parenthood, and Burns did not vote to ban boys from girls' sports. Trisha Burns not showing up for Missouri and President Trump. Instead, Trisha Burns spends her time pulling pranks on the Suicide Prevention Hotline. Yes, you heard that right. Trisha Burns lied to the police and staged a fake suicide emergency. She sent a series of messages to the hotline and said she, quote, had a gun to her head, end quote. When she got caught, she said there'd be no consequences because she's a politician. By August 4th, vote to show Trisha Burns that there are consequences to being bad at your job.
Let's Go Brandon PAC paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. Chris Foss, Treasurer.
Every week on the Moth Podcast, you'll hear true stories that will intrigue you, inspire you, and make you laugh.
He said, is there anything in your diet that might be spiking your blood sugar? I said, sometimes I eat pizza until I'm unconscious. He said, I think that might be it.
For real stories live on stage from comedians, astronauts, accountants, farmers, and people just like you, follow and listen to The Moth wherever you get your podcasts.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-329-1010. That's 1-800-329-1010. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-329-1010. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Well, I'm sure you're aware, I guess you can all imagine, that not only are we busy, but other reputable companies are also just as busy, if not busier, and it's only going to get worse. So if you know, I know this is tough, but if your system has not been keeping up with your house for just not this year, but last year, the year before, and even the year before that, if you want to quit doing it and just get it done, just call me, Bart Inman, and it's one easy number, the easiest of numbers that sometimes I forget. So write it down. 314-293-2600, Missouri and Illinois, or on the internet, bartinman.com. That is Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Hey guys, this is Kevin Wheeler. If you're looking for a little kick in the pants when it comes to dropping a little weight, getting better shape, getting more into the gym, think about Burn Balance Complex, which you can pick up at Supplement Superstores. I've been using it since it came out. It's fantastic. You notice right away the difference. Look, we all have busy schedules. I do and you do. You know, we all have problems sometimes with controlling our eating patterns and staying on a plan. Well, Burn Balance Complex makes that so much easier. It's not magic, but it definitely helps make it easier. It is a complete metabolism system. It's not just a fat burner. So what you're talking about is a natural weight loss option. So if you're a person that doesn't want to go get a prescription, you're not into injections, this is a great choice for you. In addition to the metabolism boost, you get to lower stress and cortisol levels, you get better sleep. It can help control appetite and cravings, all-day focused energy with no jitters, no crash at the end of the day. If you want the help, and look, we all need it, I know I do, go to Supplement Superstores, tell them your story, mention Kevin Wheeler, and they'll knock 30% off the Burn Balance Complex. You can find your location at supplementsuperstores.com.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Dial # law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Still here, still trusted. The voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
2 quick strikes on Carlos Beltran with the bases loaded, 2 out. The Mets down by 2. Breaking ball struck him out, and the Cardinals have won the pennant. Molina leaps into the arms of Adam Wainwright as the rookie closer strikes out Beltran looking with the bases loaded, and the Cardinals celebrate before their trip to Detroit.
You know that voice? That is Joe Buck, St. Louisan, grew up here, son of Jack Buck. And you heard that name, Carlos Beltran, who went into the Hall of Fame over the weekend. So congratulations to him. But so did that man who you just heard from. Joe joins his father as a baseball Hall of Famer, a broadcast Hall of Famer. And I know we did a lot of coverage of that last week. Tom Ackerman had a long conversation with Joe, which you can find on KMOX.com. You can find it on the Odyssey app if you have it. And I know it played a few times on the station last week. So really great weekend. And it was fun to have him be acknowledged in that way. And I've always been a really big fan of his career. I think like a lot of St. Louisans, very early on when he started to get some opportunities as a Cardinals broadcaster, there's that little feeling of like, oh, how did you get this job? Was it because of your dad? Well, yeah. But also, he just happens to be really, really good.
He's really good.
So it was very well earned, and this is some of what he had to say during his acceptance speech over the weekend.
But yes, I was chased into my Boston hotel by Red Sox fans coming out of a bar called the Beantown Pub. They were sure I was in the bag for the Yankees. I was yelled at outside Wrigley Field as a Cardinal lover. I was booed at Shea. I was booed at Dodger Stadium. Heck, Cardinal fans, some of them think I don't like the Cardinals. Life is so hard, isn't it? Wah. But there are also the touching moments, like the time in San Francisco after a big playoff game when a little boy and his father stood beneath the booth yelling for me to look down as I was packing my backpack after a big Giants win in an NLCS game. Of course, I made that little boy's day as I looked over the edge of the booth at he and his father simply giving me the finger. The look of pride on that dad's face is a look I'll never forget. And so, now, from this stage, on this day, to those two people somewhere walking the earth, I say, back at ya.
You remembered those two.
Yeah, well, it's very funny. I think that's, I kind of believe that's an ultimate compliment. They knew you well enough to give you a middle finger.
Isn't that they don't boo nobodies? They don't give middle fingers to nobodies?
That's what Jordan Walker said when he won the Derby last week. Or 2 weeks ago.
Well, then our texters must think we are a big deal.
Oh, yes, we did have a texter who followed up the original Dew Point texter who told us we were wrong about Dew Point. And this texter says, that texter is fake news. Temperature and dew point close together create fog.
You know what I love? I love, like, I don't know. I live in this world where we're like, KMOX is younger. It's not just for old people anymore. And then we launch into a half-an-hour argument about Dew Point.
But I think Dew Point is interesting. We should be on the... If we are the ones who are on the front lines of educating people about Dew Point, then I feel pretty good about that.
I will say our boss, Steve, has said that we need to find our mission.
This is it.
This is it.
It's not the humidity that matters. It's the Dew Point. That's how you know. That should be our slogan. Do we get a slogan? Do we get a motto?
Yeah.
That should be it. It's not the humidity, it's the Dew Point.
Chris and Amy, because life's too short for boring radio, say, Chris and Amy, it's not the humidity that matters. It's the Dew Point.
So, as I said, a lot happening over the weekend. Congratulations to Joe Buck, Carlos Beltran, for making it into baseball's Hall of Fame. Tom Ackerman was there in Cooperstown. He'll be back tomorrow. Gas House Gang is at 12 today. I got Nate Gatter with me. Claves and Greg Amsinger scheduled to be on the show. So we hope you'll stick around for that at 12 on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Every day starts the same way, and then it goes wherever it wants.
Life doesn't stop for Cardinals baseball. It just kind of runs alongside it. Dave Glover here from the Dave Glover Show. We're talking real life, real stuff, and yes, a lot of Cardinals along the way, because that's how fans actually live it. It's just like happy hour, man. We get together every day from 1 to 5. We have fun, we laugh, we commiserate, we complain. DGS 1 to 5.
The Dave Glover Show at 1, and then Cardinals baseball.
Can you believe politicians nearly doubled state spending since 2019? Yeah, that's twice the rate of inflation.
What do we get for all that extra spending? Nothing.
Yeah, and get this, over 200 loopholes are buried in our tax code, written by lobbyists for wealthy corporations.
Our tax code is rigged against us.
We get taxed on our paycheck, our home, everything we buy.
I guess somebody's got to pay for all that spending.
That's why we need Amendment 5. It puts politicians on a leash.
Forces them to cut taxes and control spending, whether they like it or not.
Amendment 5 closes the loopholes, eliminates income taxes, cuts property taxes, and gives $3,000 a year to average working families.
We decide, not the politicians.
Amendment 5 is the biggest tax cut in Missouri history.
I'm voting yes on Amendment 5. Paid for by Missouri Promise PAC. Mark Ellinger, Treasurer.
Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
83 degrees currently today. Partly sunny and sweltering heat. Maybe an afternoon thunderstorm, a high of 101. Tonight, partly cloudy, very warm, very humid, a low of 79. Weather sponsored by Scott Credit Union.
Upgrade your summer ride with auto loan rates as low as 3.99% APR at Scott Credit Union. New or used, Scott Credit Union helps you love your ride and your rate. Learn more at scu.org. Rates vary, terms and conditions apply.
I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-296-1251. 800-296-1251. That's 800-296-1251. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
And Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
The radical left let crime and drugs pour into our nation, and they let biological men into girls' sports. But here in Missouri, if there's a problem, we fix it. That's why Ann Wagner's fixing the mess the radical left made and delivering for us. Wagner voted to ban biological men from competing in girls' sports. And she voted to fund the police and provide more resources for Border Patrol agents, keeping our families, communities, and children safe. And Ann Wagner didn't stop there. In Congress, Wagner passed the largest working class tax cut in American history, kept big government out of our business, protected our way of life, and ensured our communities remain safe. That's why Ann Wagner's endorsed by the Missouri Farm Bureau and Missouri Fraternal Order of Police. Vote Ann Wagner for Congress on August 4th.
I'm Ann Wagner, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Ann Wagner for Congress.
Tired of your phone bill constantly going up? Stop the madness with Boost Mobile. Get unlimited talk, text, and data for just $25 a month. No contracts, no catches. And that $25 price is locked in forever. Switch to Boost Mobile today.
Get inside your Redbirds in the 2026 season every Tuesday at noon. It's All Access with Cardinals manager Ollie Marmol on your voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
Chris and Amy show on KMOX. And over the weekend, I attended the Jack White show at, it's a place called the Salt Shed.
Mm-hmm.
It's been open for about 4 years. It's in Chicago. It is if you've ever driven up there, it's right off the interstate. It is the old Morton Salt warehouse. And the HQ used to be in Chicago. Now it's in Overland Park. So it's a Kansas City-based company now. And it was closed. They reopened it a few years later as a music venue.
Yeah.
And I have to tell you, if you ever get an opportunity to go, if there's a show up there you like, somebody's performing, go to it. I think it's just a really cool venue. They've got the indoor venue, and then just outside of it is like an outdoor courtyard second venue. And the river is right there.
Mm-hmm.
People park their boats, and they listen to music. It's a very cool vibe. So if you ever get an opportunity, you should do it. And Jack is one of those people. I went to the show at Chaffetz, and I want to say it was 2018. It was either 2018, 2019, somewhere in that range. It was definitely pre-COVID. And he performed there.
Where did you say?
At Chaffetz.
Okay. I think just a couple years before that, he went to the Fox.
Okay, it was definitely not the Fox.
Okay.
So it was like between 2017 and 19.
Yeah.
And it was the first time I had experienced those Yonder pouches. So that is the Jack White is a very he's into the old school stuff. That's why he's really big on vinyl. You know, he sells everything on vinyl. And I know that you can get pretty much any album in vinyl now, but when he started to do it, there weren't a whole lot of artists that were still selling it. So he's very big. He's got his own press, vinyl press or whatever. And he also does not like cell phones at concerts. So he doesn't, I think there are very few artists who do this. I know Dave Chappelle, he started doing it about 9-10 years ago, where he made everybody, as they entered the building, wherever they were performing, he made them put their phone in this pouch, and then it seals magnetically, and you can't open it up. You have to go to certain places if you want to get on your phone, but you can't be where the show is happening and get your phone out and start recording. He just doesn't want people to do that. And
comedians do that. I went to
Chappelle.
John Mulaney. Yeah.
Oh, John Mulaney did it too? So I think it's very interesting. I was with a friend who's not like he's not like one of those people who's constantly on his phone.
Yeah.
But he was not feeling it. He was like, oh man, I didn't know you had to do this. I don't like this. And for a while, it was a real adjustment period.
Did he think about not going or no?
No.
Okay.
I mean, he was surprised by it as we went in.
Yeah.
And, we met there at the venue, and he said, did you know you can't take your phone in? I was like, well, yeah, you can take your phone. You just have to put it in this pouch. And, thinking about this, the vibe of the show, there is a noticeable difference. You don't see a bunch of people with their stupid phones in the air taking bad videos nobody's ever going to look at or like or care about, or photos. But I did want to be able to at least take a photo of the venue so, you could see it.
Yeah.
Because it's such a cool place. But I liked it. I liked that idea of people are just not on their phones recording. They're not watching a good show through a tiny screen. But they're actually paying attention
You're
to it.
more present.
Yeah, and after a while, you adjust to it very quickly, I think. You adjust to not having your phone. Because there were a couple times where I would reach down to get in my pocket and get it out and look at it. And I forgot about it after a while.
Yeah.
It was nice.
It's really nice. Even at the Connor Smith, and I did have to check my phone a couple times, but at the Connor Smith concert, as silly as it sounds, I put my phone in my fanny pack. Yes, I wore a fanny pack.
Yeah.
And zipped it up and just left it in there. And it was nice just listening to the concert and not grabbing your phone out or trying to take pictures or video. And I think, let's say I went home today and I'm like, here are some errands I want to do, a book I want to read. I'd pay some money for someone to just take the pressure off me to put my phone in a pouch and I can't have it for 6 hours.
It'd be kind of nice, right?
Because it takes no willpower then. In the same way that people say, well, just don't use your phone. I get it. We all have willpower. But it's the same way as if, let's say you're trying to eat healthy or not eat sugar.
That is a perfect analogy.
It
yes.
is a lot easier to not eat sugar if you don't have ice cream and cake in the house. Because it's just not there. It's out of sight, out of mind. Or even if it is in your mind, it's not available. But it actually uses up your willpower to constantly say, no ice cream, no cake, no ice cream, no cake, even though it's right there on my counter.
That's why I can't, and I know this is a different conversation, but I can't be upset at Americans for being obese when it's just, there's Wendy's and Burger King and everything. It's in your face. It's always there. Of course people are going to eat it.
Well,
so if your phone is on you, of course you're going to grab your phone and look at it.
And just like sugar is addictive, the phone is addicting. We are addicted to our phones. We have wired our brains to say that this little rectangle in our pocket is the most important thing. If it lights up, if it vibrates, if it buzzes, whatever, that's the most important thing. How many times are you just constantly checking? Did I miss something? Did I look at something?
Yeah.
And it's a habit that you can't even describe how intuitive it is to just check your phone. And so, yes, it's the same thing with being addicted to sugar or fast food or junk food. Like I said, my good friend who lived here and raised his kids here for a few years and now has moved back to his home in Switzerland. He loves America. Yes, he loves the convenience of America, the abundance of America. However, he said, do you know how much easier it is where in Switzerland, where there isn't fast food everywhere, there's one aisle that has maybe 2 bags of chips. There's not candy and soda. It's so much easier to not have to say no to your kids.
That's right.
Can parents say no? Absolutely. Should they? Absolutely. But it's a lot easier when there's nothing to say no to.
Well, and this is also a really good example of what we're talking about with the cell phones in schools, that if everybody has to do it, there's not as much fear of missing out. And if I went into the music venue and they singled me out and said, you, put your phone in this pouch, everybody else is okay, then that would, I don't think I'd like that. But the fact that we all had to do it, there was just something nice about everybody walking around and being present.
Yep.
I mean, it's a little cumbersome that you have to carry this dumb pouch, but it would be cooler if there was a way to not have it on you at all, and you could easily get it if you need to, but that would just not work. Too many people.
Yeah.
But the idea of not having it on your person and available to constantly be looking at, it was freeing. Yeah, I really did like that.
Well, I'm not even joking. Every time I escape to the mountains, do you know how freeing it is to have zero service?
Yeah.
There's nothing to look at on your phone. There's zero service. You can't get Wi-Fi, text, cellular service. There's nothing. And so you don't check your phone when you're hiking because there's nothing to check. And yesterday, or actually on Saturday, my running buddies, a big group of us, we had like 14 of us, all went to Flight Club, the dart place in Clayton. And you rent your own little booth, basically, with your own dart board, and it's electronic. And we all played darts at Flight Club, and it was so much fun. And on one side of the wall...
That's the place in Clayton.
Yeah. On one side of the wall with the hooks, there were hooks, I should say, for your coat and purse. I put my phone in my fanny pack, because I still had my fanny pack, and I hung it on the wall. And I never once went over to the wall to check my phone, and I was so present. And you know what's funny is we don't have any pictures from that night because we weren't looking at our phones. And I don't know why I really didn't see phones. And usually you see people checking their phones, or you see the phone on the bar top, right? You see phones. And I didn't check my phone once, and it was really fun, and it felt more relaxing, and I felt way more present, and I didn't even think to check my phone.
You know what I liked? This is, I wanted to tell you something else, Amy, but before that, I'm thinking about when I first moved away after college and moved up north, and I had a friend who had a really small digital camera that he bought, and he would bring it out anytime we'd go out, and he would just snap photos all night. But it wasn't that kind of thing where you snap the photo, then you look at it. Does that look good? Oh, let me delete that. Let's try it again. He would just take these photos. And then later, he would go through them and send them like, hey, look at this one or look at this one. I loved that. Yeah. But it's when you're doing it with a phone, you take the photo and then everybody has to look at it to make sure it looks good. Oh, that doesn't look good. Let's try it again. Like, oh, no, just take the photo. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Too bad. Move on. And I
love that.
I think we should go back to little digital cameras.
We should. And I think part of that is what I was saying several weeks ago, where I said everything has to be sexy and streamlined now. Yeah. Like even kids, there's this very like grown up and all the young girls, and they're very grown up, like Lululemon like skirts and tank tops and long hair, and they kind of all look like no one's wearing anything that shows unique personality. I shouldn't say no one. There's always some people. But, a lot of kids are wearing, it's almost like they don't want to stand out for not conforming to, hey, this is the Lulu outfit you wear. This is the, or the whatever you wear. I guess I just bring it up because there's something about everything looking sleek or sexy or perfect, which is why I think we take so many photos. Back in the 90s, all of our photos were horrible, and a lot of times we had red eyes. Remember
but there was
how the
all a
eyeballs
style.
were red?
We all kind of dressed along the same style.
But maybe
I think
it just
that's
wasn't
generational.
as sleek. Maybe that's what it is. There's something right now that's a little the same. I feel the outfits today, the Lululemon outfits, give me the same vibe as what I call the Soviet-style McDonald's. Everything's like gray and sleek and monochrome. Nothing's tacky anymore.
Well,
we need to be tacky.
That's different. We can be tacky again. Well, also, Amy, I want you to see if you can guess.
Oh, no.
I did it again.
Oh, okay.
I did it again, and I want to know if because I told you in the office that I did it again, and you said, I bet I know what it is. Yep. Do you know what it is?
Yes.
What?
You bought a T-shirt at the concert and tipped.
I did. Oh, my God, I'm so mad about it. I'm so mad about it. I buy a T-shirt at the end of the show as we're walking out. And this time, so this happened at Chaffetz, the Muse concert I went to. It was the one I ran into Pajewski at a few years ago.
Aww.
And I bought a T-shirt, and it was the first time ever I had been exposed to a non-food item tip option.
Yeah.
So I bought the shirt. They gave me the little terminal. I put my card in it. And it said, do you want a tip? And I was like, wait. And I hit whatever it was. And I think it ended up being a $6 tip.
Yeah, because it was like 20% or something.
For a person to turn around, grab the shirt, and give it to me. So it happened again. And this time, the dude, he gave me the shirt. The terminal was in front of me. So I had to put my card in. And he sort of leaned down and looked at me. He was in one of those, those booths. So he was higher up by like a couple of inches.
That's intimidating.
And he kind of leaned forward, waiting for me to make my selection. And so I did. But I did the lowest tip amount.
So 15?
I don't know if it was 10 or 15. But I still felt I should have been like, no, what am I doing here?
This isn't the service industry.
I got guilted into it, pressured.
I feel like
I can't believe I got pressured into this.
The way you panic and tip is exactly how that's your version of me being a nerd in front of Ollie Marmol and John Jay and Stubby Clapp.
Well, I don't know if it's the same, but I see what you're getting at.
Yes.
But
you panic. Like you become not yourself.
For a T-shirt, man, these companies that are these vendors that are making that an option, I hate you. I hate you. And I believe in tipping. I believe in tipping at restaurants and even at coffee shops. Even at coffee shops, I believe in tipping. But to turn around and literally grab a T-shirt out of a box, hand it to me, a tip? No.
But this is why I'm comparing it to me being a real nerd in front of Ollie Marmol. If you're listening, I'm so sorry. I think if you had been prepared for the tip,
I wasn't,
and you walked up going, they're going to ask me to tip and I'm not going to, you would have handled the situation better,
Maybe.
right?
Didn't think about it.
You were caught off guard.
I was.
You were having a good time. You're thinking, you know what? I'm going to buy a Jack White T-shirt. Life is good. I'm having fun. Oh, hey. And you get hit with the option to tip. You're not prepared mentally for it.
Yes.
And you panicked.
That's okay. So an external factor.
Yes.
That's what happened.
Yes.
I'm so mad about it, but
Yeah.
at least it wasn't the $6 tip. I'll never get over that. That happened how many years ago? I'm still talking about it. 4? 3? I don't know, but I'll never get over that. Tipping for a T-shirt. Come on, you idiot. Me, idiot. It's a Chris and Amy show on KMOX.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
You know, here in St. Louis, word of mouth still matters, and I'm pretty careful about who I recommend, especially when it comes to something as personal as estate planning. I'm Tom Ackerman. My family has been working with the Lederman Law Firm for over 20 years now, and the reason is simple. They don't just create documents and send you on your way. They help make sure your plan works. Because let's be honest, life changes. Family needs and circumstances change. Laws change. But most estate plans don't change over time as needs, circumstances, and laws change. They're outdated, sitting in a drawer. People assume they're fine, and their plan will work when they need it to work. At the Lederman Law Firm, it's not a one-time transaction. It's an ongoing process. They build a plan to protect your family and your assets, and then for a fixed annual fee, they help keep it up to date as both your life and assets change. Check out the Lederman Law Firm at LedermanLaw.com or give them a call at 314-514-9100. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
The soundtrack of classic rock is coming to Hollywood Casino Amphitheater August 6th. Leonard Skinner and Foreigner joining forces for one epic night of legendary hits and unforgettable memories. It's the Double Trouble Double Vision Tour. From Sweet Home Alabama to Cold as Ice. Don't miss your chance to experience these two Rock and Roll Hall of Fame acts in one incredible show. Tickets available at Ticketmaster.com. For more info, KMOX.com/events.
New Game Plus with Oxy makes your laundry smell incredible and fights stubborn smells, like the ones your dog Biscuit brought into your freshly made bed last night. But you wash that all away with Game. And now you're drifting asleep to the scent and sound of waves. Ah, no, that's the dog licking your ear.
Biscuit.
It just might be our greatest scent ever. Now with odor-fighting power. New Game Plus with Oxy.
Bill, you're an old politician.
Yup, sure am.
So you know the old-timers warned that someone trying to sell you a pig in a poke was a con man.
Well, sure.
Well, no offense, Tom, but your Politicians Amendment 5 is a pig in a poke, allowing politicians to raise our taxes without a vote of the people. And the Politicians Amendment 4 takes away our power to do anything about it. Well, let's look at what's really inside 4 and 5.
Oh, don't do that.
5 hits hardest seniors and those struggling financially with new taxes on services like doctor visits, in-home care, and rent. Sales taxes could more than triple. For up to 80% of Missourians, it's a tax hike. And Amendment 4 ends majority rule, effectively ending our power to stop corrupt and out-of-control politicians.
Slick plan, huh?
No, Tom. 4 and 5 are schemes that hurt citizens and transfer our power and our money to politicians and lobbyists. That's why I'm voting no on the Politicians Amendments 4 and 5. Paid for by Missourians for fair government.
For the last 33 years, you've discovered that at Banner Construction, we pride ourselves on quality craftsmanship. We believe the single most important decision homeowners must make when considering an exterior restoration project is, who do you hire? At Banner, we provide well-engineered, meaningful, long-term solutions to transform your home into the pride of the neighborhood. Let us help you fall in love with your home all over again. Call 314-569-1050 or visit bannerconstruction.com and have a banner day.
Soldiers Memorial Military Museum looks at American military history through the lens of St. Louis.
From the Revolutionary War to the present day, the galleries showcase stories of local service members and delve into the city's wartime history. Outside, the Court of Honors includes monuments to those who lost their lives in World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. Open Wednesday through Sunday. Admission is free. Find information about special exhibits at mohistory.org/memorial. That's mohistory.org/memorial.
Congress doesn't need more politicians. For nearly 30 years, Joan Von Dross dedicated her life to helping students learn, grow, and succeed. Now she's running for Congress to fight for lower healthcare costs, stronger public schools, and a more affordable future for Missouri families. Teachers solve problems. Politicians play politics.
I'm Joan Von Dross, Democrat for Missouri CD2, and I approve this message. Vote for me on August 4th.
Paid for by Von Dross for Congress.
The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX and the free Odyssey app. Now, did you see this? With Chris and Amy.
Well, a CBS poll has found that Cyclospora is changing Americans' eating habits. A new poll conducted by CBS News YouGov found that 4 in 10 Americans are buying or eating less produce because of the parasitic outbreak that's been linked to iceberg lettuce in 9 states. Most Americans are also following news of the outbreak somewhat closely, per the survey. Actually, it's about the same number of as Americans who are following coverage of the Iranian war.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So the CBS News YouGov found that respondents' confidence in the FDA's ability to solve the problem is mixed, but largely falls along party lines, with Republicans more optimistic. CBS News also reported that staff and program cuts at the FDA may have contributed to how bad this situation has gotten. And I will say, I am that 4 in 10. I'm one of the 4 in 10 Americans. I've been extra careful. Listen, I got enough issues without Cyclospora. But I had a giant salad yesterday with my family, but homegrown lettuce, cucumbers, and tomatoes.
Yeah, so you're fine. And that's, I've done that a couple of times where I've wanted, like, that's what I felt like having, but then I thought,
But
I probably shouldn't.
If you go to a farmer's market, if you
Yeah,
get
you should be
locally
okay at a
grown,
farmer's
you're good, yeah.
I wish the Soulard market was open all week, but it's not.
Oh, is it not?
It's
Just
Wednesday
mainly
through Saturday.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
There's a lot of good stuff there. But
Oh, yeah, real quick, I had the Soulard experience after going to Dee's to see Connor Smith. My friend who lives there, they have a golf cart, and I got to do the thing where you drive around Soulard in the golf cart.
We can talk about the golf carts.
It was so fun. And then they went to the farmer's market, the Soulard farmer's market, and the golf cart. Again, I'm falling in love with these neighborhoods. I almost bought a house in Soulard this weekend.
Good luck. So, Amy, did you see that in Minneapolis, they had a little bit of a poo problem?
Oh, my gosh, no.
So at some point on Thursday morning, liquid manure was spilled on the interstate. A lot of it. And so these cars had driven through it. It was on Highway 62 near 28th Avenue, if you know where that is, in South Minneapolis. And people were reporting that it was leaving a significant and rancid smell on their cars. There's actually one video, and it's one of the, the highway fixed cameras, the traffic cameras. And there are 2 cars driving side by side, and one drives through the puddle and just douses the other car next to it.
Oh, my gosh.
How in the world does this happen? Do you remember back in, I want to say it was March of this year, a septic tank truck that cleans out septic tanks got stalled on a train track?
Oh, no.
And got demolished by the train?
I don't remember that at all.
I don't remember what that was. We had a derailment in Eureka. Did you see that? That was the coal derailment? Coal train?
Oh, I did see that.
Yeah.
I did see that. Regarding Minneapolis, I will say this. People who have driven through it, and I'm watching the video now, this woman said she's taken her car through the car wash 5 times, has aired it out. It smells so bad that she is going to sell her car.
You have to do the thing that Seinfeld did, where he got the BO stench in the car, and he just parked it, and he threw the keys in it, and he said, take it.
That's actually
That's
what she's
you
going to
have to do. All right, we're going to tell you more about Prop U. It's on the August 4th ballot. And St. Louis County voters, they have an opportunity to decide on a new tax. So we will talk to Kate Thompson, Advocacy Committee Chair for the St. Louis Realtors, next on KMOX.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
Are you an adult with uncontrolled moderate to severe Crohn's disease symptoms and still packing a backup bag of clothes? Just in case? Skyrizi Risankizumab Riza can help you take control of your Crohn's. Feel significant symptom relief, including less abdominal pain and fewer bowel movements at 4 weeks. Plus, Skyrizi is proven to help people achieve remission and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Individual results may vary. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's. Ready to take control of your Crohn's? Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's disease.
Control is everything to me.
Learn more at skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI.
When pain starts to slow you down, BJC Healthcare and WashU Medicine orthopedic specialists are here to help. Nationally recognized leaders in orthopedics deliver care that's informed by research and personalized for you. From everyday aches to complex injuries and recovery, we're here to help you get back to doing what you love. Find an orthopedic specialist today. Visit bjc.org/orthopedics or call 314-362-9355.
And Doug.
Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Celebrating 100 years of informing and entertaining. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood, the voice of St. Louis. And Doug.
Hot dog! Get your hot dog! Customize! Customize and save with Liberty Mutual.
Hey, what are you doing?
I like your method. Direct. To the point. A little loud, but...
Listen, people don't buy car insurance the same way they do hot dogs.
Not yet, but both are customizable.
Popcorn! Get your popcorn!
Hey, this is a hot dog area.
And customize and save area. Get a quote at libertymutual.com or with your local agent.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
It is 86 degrees with sunshine in downtown St. Louis. We do have a bit of a cool-off on the way. I'm Debbie Monterey. Details on that coming up. Mediators have made progress in efforts to bring the United States and Iran back to negotiations to prevent an all-out war in the Middle East. That's according to 2 regional officials who spoke to the Associated Press, but scattered attacks by armed groups across the region underscored the lingering tensions. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu expected in Washington today to meet with President Trump. That's the sound of Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesman Esmail Bagay saying, yes, the mediators might convey messages from the Americans to us about the ongoing developments in the region, but currently we have no negotiations with the American side. Orders for durable goods picked up last month, but not at the pace analysts were expecting. We get more from ABC's Jim Ryan with the latest numbers from the Census Bureau.
Economists were predicting a 1.5% to 2% rise in orders for big-ticket items. The figure has come in at an anemic 0.3%. The number is important because durable goods orders are considered a predictor of future industrial activity. Equities investors were not fazed by today's report. Wall Street opened the week with a rally.
The Wash Ave Food Hall continues adding to its lineup as it prepares to have a grand opening this fall. Little Bao will bring its bao buns, udon noodles, and Asian fusion flavors to the food hall. It'll join Steve's Smash, a new burger and loaded fries concept from Steve's Hot Dogs, and Four Hands, which is launching a Pour My Beer wall. More food and beverage announcements are on the way, according to Fire 10 Hospitality and Oliver Properties. If you planned a trip to Cliff Cave Park to get your pictures in the sunflower fields, you may need to wait until next year. St. Louis County Parks and Recreation District reports out of almost 300,000 sunflowers planted, only about half an acre remains. They say there were two major factors: weeds that have been hard to maintain, and deer, which have eaten a significant portion of this year's sunflowers. You can still visit Marion's Place at Cliff Cave Park this Saturday from 9 until noon. The weather is sponsored by Steve Butts and the entire Crawford Butts family.
An extreme heat warning remains in effect through 9 this evening. Sunshine and some clouds, very hot and oppressively humid this afternoon. A thunderstorm cannot be ruled out later this afternoon and this evening. The high around 100 with AccuWeather real field temperatures over 110. Patchy clouds, uncomfortably warm and sticky overnight, low 80. Tomorrow, times of sun and clouds and not as hot, but still very humid, the high 90. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
86 degrees with sunshine and a few clouds downtown as America celebrates its 250th anniversary. Steve Butts and everyone at Crawford Butts Insurance wishes everyone a safe and joyful summer, proudly serving the community for generations. Happy 250th America. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
The Chris and Amy Show is video streaming now on KMOX's YouTube, X, and Facebook pages. Click and subscribe.
Chris Ranji, Amy Mark Scores with you on a Monday morning. And St. Louis County voters will decide the fate of the Prop U use tax. It will be on the August 4th ballot. And if you've been so caught up in Amendment 4 and Amendment 5 that you're thinking, wait, what's Prop U? And yes, this is for St. Louis County. You'll want to listen up because we have Kate Thompson on the line on the Quiver River Electric guest line. She is the Advocacy Committee Chair for the St. Louis Realtors, and I think she's going to suss out Prop U for us so we know exactly what's going on. Kate, thanks for joining us.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
I know it's not the sexiest thing on the ballot, but for people who are wondering what is a use tax, the Prop U use tax, kind of set the table on what it is.
So this particular tax is really not a new tax. It is basically a tax that is about fairness to our local businesses, specifically our mom and pop little boutique stores, everywhere we have them all over the metropolitan St. Louis County area. So if you were today to buy something at that boutique store, you're charged a tax. If you were to find that same product online, you are not charged necessarily the St. Louis County tax there. So automatically our mom and pops are at a bit of a disadvantage. And they're our neighbors, they employ our neighbors, and they also, commit dollars and presents to our metropolitan area. So what this does is it applies the same amount of tax on your online purchase so that St. Louis County can recoup those dollars and use those for services like roads, your park system, and it helps prevent future taxes, or I should say increases on property taxes for these very same things.
What is, you are with the St. Louis Realtors. What is their particular interest in this?
So we represent both residential and commercial real estate and realtors. And so it is very important to our commercial partners, but also for our communities. So, we are the ambassadors of our communities, and we sell St. Louis 1 yard at a time, and that's in various communities. And so to really keep those communities whole, our mom and pop shops are hugely important for that. And so for our commercial folks and for just the municipalities in general, it's really important to keep them at a level playing field with these online retailers.
So at least 45 municipalities in the county already have a use tax on the books. So just to clarify, this is just for the remaining counties that don't?
Correct. Your unincorporated St. Louis County areas. That is correct.
Some of the major areas where people are already paying this use tax online, what would those municipalities be? Just to throw them out for people who are out in those listening areas.
So unincorporated St. Louis County actually covers quite a bit of territory.
Okay.
And not all the municipalities actually have their own use tax. So unfortunately, I can't give you a comprehensive list of who that might be. Just know that it's not, if the use tax is already in place in other municipalities, it would not add to that at all. It's where they aren't today.
So what is the objection to it that you are hearing? Obviously, you are in favor of it. The group you represent is in favor of it. So what sort of pushback are you hearing?
Well, whenever you say to somebody a tax, and they equate that to a tax period, and they think that it's a new tax. And so it's really the same rate that you're paying today if you were to go into a brick and mortar store. It's just online.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people don't understand it. And the term use tax is not self-defining.
Yeah.
So, with that, I think that adds a level of confusion.
So obviously, when a tax does come about, I mean, people have an aversion to it. Generally speaking, nobody wants to pay a tax. I mean, nobody. If we could live life and live in a society and never pay any taxes ever, that'd be great. It just isn't realistic. But the second question is, where's the money going to go? Is your interest more in just making it fair for the local businesses and not so much concern about what the tax money does once it's acquired?
It's both. So, of course, we are greatly concerned about protecting the interests of the small business and also the communities that they serve. But where these monies will actually go to when it comes to road maintenance, we all need road maintenance. The parks that you enjoy. I just heard on your news about how you can't go and get your pictures done because the deer ate all the sunflowers. So, the money that it takes to maintain our park system, our road systems, all of these things, that comes from these types of taxes. And with actually enacting this type of tax, it can in the future help with maintaining property taxes, because this is an additional revenue flow that St. Louis County does not have today.
We talked about the municipalities that already have this use tax and some examples, Brentwood, Clayton, Crestwood, DePere, Kirkwood, U City, Maplewood, some of these areas. And I believe it was actually Creve Coeur that voted yes to have a use tax in 2025. And one of the big questions that they asked people for this vote in Creve Coeur was, will it be a double tax? And they said no, the purchaser pays either a sales tax or a use tax, but never both.
Mm-hmm. That is correct.
So just to make that clear, yeah.
Yes, it is not both. And the use tax specifically goes towards online purchases. It's not if you're buying in the brick and mortar.
Right.
And so, Kate, you mentioned the property tax, and people are concerned about their property taxes going up. Is it that there would be some relief on property taxes as a result of this tax being implemented, or just a guarantee that they wouldn't go up, that this is a way to prevent them from going up from what they are now?
I can make no guarantee in reference to taxes. I am a lowly little realtor, my friends.
Okay.
I am not a politician, and I don't pretend to be one. So here's what I can tell you is that today it is a revenue stream that St. Louis County is missing out on. And as a result of that, your property tax, the way it is structured today, is what carries those services that we just talked about. This is another revenue stream to allow for St. Louis County to capture those dollars to put towards the services that we all need, that we need good roads. We need good park spaces. All of these things that the county dollars pay for today, these are going untapped without this use tax.
Kate, thank you so much for giving us your time today. Again, the vote is August 4th. This is Prop U. Kate Thompson, Advocacy Committee Chair for St. Louis Realtors. We appreciate your time. Thank you for talking with us.
Thank you so much.
And that same August 4th ballot, that is, Amendments 4, Amendment 5, all that vote.
And
all those votes are happening at the same time.
Different primaries is
different.
And
Yep.
as Hancock and Kelly say, in a lot of areas, the primary is the real election.
Yeah.
Because if it's very red or very blue, you know who's going to win from
Right.
the primary, basically. I will say this quickly, having worked at a locally owned store for several years, I get it that if you sometimes go to a boutique or a family-owned store, yeah, you might pay more than you would pay on Amazon or something like that. And so, but one thing that you can offer is personal knowledge, personal investment in the items that you're selling. Saying, this is a really good, I use this. Like I worked at a running store and I could say, I've run thousands of miles in this shoe, or like this water bottle, like really niche stuff, right? Say, oh, I've used this water bottle in this weather or that weather. And you get that experience. And sometimes I swear I had spent an hour with a customer sometimes because it was very boutique. It was very niche. And they'd say, this is awesome. And then they would write it down and say, but yeah, I don't have to pay tax if I like buy this online, with
Right.
the use tax, or I can get it cheaper somewhere else. And I know it just varies. And like I said, we understand people trying to save money. I mean, I get it, but it is tough if you're Amazon has already made small business so much tougher because people they just go and they can buy things for cheaper, and it's hard for a family-owned business to compete with that. But
Amazon and some of the larger stores, the big box stores,
Yeah.
the Walmart types, it does make it more difficult.
so, and I get it, but yeah, anyway, it's
Well,
tough.
we do have reason to bring back one of our most popular segments.
What?
The Egg Beat.
Oh,
The Egg Beat returns. We got a news story for you. That's coming up next on KMOX.
All right. I'm going to actually get into this story later today. Had a run-in, a buddy of mine, with stinging insects. It was really bad. Got stung a lot. And if you are worried about stinging insects around your home, whether it's carpenter bees or whatever it may be, wasps, you need to call Rottler. Go to Rottler.com. For over 70 years, Rottler Pest Control has been serving the St. Louis and surrounding areas. They're the largest family-owned pest control service in the state of Missouri. And what's so great, when you call them, a real human answers the phone, which is rarer and rarer these days. And also, they offer same-day or next-day service, and that first inspection is free, so you have nothing to lose. Have them come out. They can customize a plan based on your needs and the pests in your home, whether you're dealing with ants that you can't get rid of in the kitchen, maybe carpenter bees who are boring holes into wood structures like your siding or fences, and or even moles that are tearing up your lawn and landscaping after you've put so much work into your yard. So call Rottler. Visit them today, Rottler.com, Rottler.com.
And Doug.
Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at LibertyMutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Oh, hey, Sarah. Did you hear my daughter Katie got Camper of the Week?
That's a big deal.
We got a big deal too, right, Mom?
Honey, shh.
What's that?
Okay, that Hyundai Santa Fe, I only paid
Nice.
Deal's so right, it almost feels wrong. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Get 0% APR for 60 months, plus 0 payments for 90 days, or 1.9% APR for 72 months on the Hyundai Tucson, Santa Fe, or Santa Fe Hybrid during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Hurry, offer ends August 3rd. Call 562-314-4603 for details.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-720-8444. 314-720-8444. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-720-8444.
When you want a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it. 3-day kitchen and bath. It's all about time.
Save time and money.
Do it now, don't wait till later. Call the top-notch renovator. It's about time.
3 days or less.
At 3-day kitchen and bath.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Built on a century, focused on today. The voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Well, Amy, it's back due to popular demand. And also, there's an illness going around. We bring you again the egg beat.
No. The egg beat?
Yeah, the egg beat is back. It's been a while. Remember when inflation and all we talked about was the price of eggs? We had to have an egg beat segment every day. That's all anybody cared about was how expensive eggs were.
Yeah.
Well, a salmonella outbreak has tied eggs to sickening 98 people in 17 states going back to November. So that is what has been reported just before the weekend. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration says that between November 21st and June 30th, these illnesses occurred. No deaths, however, have been reported. 26 people have gone to the hospital as a result. The eggs were recalled by Midwest Poultry Services. It's an Indiana-based company.
Are we one of the
But it does not account for all of the illnesses.
Are we one of the 17 states?
Are we one of the 17
that seems to be
states?
Like the key question.
They didn't.
They didn't
on this
say?
story, did not put the states.
That feels like one of the more important facts.
Well, they did put out a photo of the egg cartons that were being
Are they free
recalled.
range?
Large grade A eggs. No, they do not appear to be free range.
So is the salmonella in the eggs or is it on the shells? And you're getting it from
Amy,
the shells?
you're not. What are you asking me for?
Is this an AI? How did this reporter ask 0 questions?
I
This
don't
is
know.
the reporter, and we have a salmonella outbreak. Got 98 people sick. Okay, thanks, Bob. That's the end of the story. Not what are the companies? What states? Is it from the egg itself? Like, even if you scramble the eggs, you're going to get it? Or is it on the shell and you touched it and then you ate without washing your hands? Because I do know the shells can be dirty.
Yeah, you got to clean the shells.
Sometimes.
You don't have to. I think we're okay, though, because it appears to have gone to a Kroger.
Oh, yeah, we don't have Kroger.
There's a different story.
Well, hold on. Can I just say this in case you're wondering if you're starting to feel empathy illness? Salmonella symptoms include diarrhea, fever, and stomach cramps. They usually start 6 hours to 6 days. That's not fair. After you eat contaminated food and last 4 to 7 days. So it does sound not quite as severe as the 2 weeks of explosive diarrheas that you get with Cyclospora.
Well, here you go. The information you were looking for.
Thank you.
Of the 98 salmonella cases, they have been reported in Illinois and Missouri.
Oh, my gosh.
Arizona, California, Colorado, Georgia, Illinois, Louisiana, Michigan, Missouri, Mississippi, blah, 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 blah. So, yes, Illinois and Missouri. And it looks like Kroger large eggs in cartons of 12, 18, and 60. Simple Truth cage-free medium brown eggs.
Oh.
Brookshire's large eggs. And Country Morning large eggs. So, be very careful if you're going to eat your eggs.
Would you be more afraid of a Cyclospora contamination, like you get that with explosive diarrhea? Or what if Cyclospora caused severe gum disease? That sounds worse, doesn't it?
Where did you get that?
I don't know. I was just thinking of things that I'm afraid of.
Yeah, I don't think you want severe gum disease. It feels like
I'm more afraid of severe gum disease than I am of diarrhea. I have a lot of experience
I'm more
with
afraid
diarrhea.
of cancer. Okay. You just want to keep going up the ladder? What? All right, Amy.
What?
So we have a large pile of dirt.
Oh, yeah. So I don't know if you heard about this, but
It's in my neighborhood.
Mount Soulard.
Yeah, Mount Soulard.
It is at least right now, at least 20 feet high. I mean, you can drive up it. There is a developer, and I'm going to say the name because they deserve to be outed. It's officially JLN Soulard Properties, LLC, which is Joseph and Leonard Adewunmi of St. Louis-based D&R Building Group. So D&R Building Group and JLN Soulard Properties, LLC are dumping dirt on a corner in Soulard. It's located at 7th Street and Shenandoah Avenue. And it is such an eyesore. I mean, it looks like a mini landfill. This mountain of dirt is growing and growing, and the city has fined JLN Soulard Properties, owned by D&R Building Group, has fined them, and the company says, okay, we'll pay the fine, and we'll keep dumping our dirt here, ruining the neighborhood, because apparently it is cheaper and easier to just pay a city fine and dump it in Soulard than to, find an actual place to dump dirt from a development. But Matt, you saw this when we went to Dee's place in Soulard. And remember how last week I wanted to move to the Central West End in Midtown because it was so awesome? Well, this weekend, and now I want to move to Soulard because I got the Soulard experience, and driving the golf cart around the cobblestone streets and going to the farmer's market in Dee's place was so much fun. And then these idiots are trying to ruin everything.
Yeah, it was huge. Like, the best way you described it was it's like a mini dump. And it's on,
it's a main street.
7th and Shenandoah.
You drive by it to get to, bars and stuff like that, and just it looks like a construction site. It pretty much is.
I mean, the audacity of these people. JLN is not based here, correct?
I believe it is, because it's D&R. Because a lot of their projects, they've done projects around St. Louis.
Okay.
But I'm on the D&R website. They have a section called Safety First. Through ongoing training, strict safety protocols, and protective risk management, we strive to create a culture where safety is everyone's responsibility.
Well, I believe it.
D&R Buildings and JLN Soulard Properties, LLC, worst companies. It's actually very dangerous because, as you mentioned, this mound of dirt, they're calling it Mount Soulard right now. And, with floods and rain, I mean, you can create an unsafe situation. You can also create a mess with the sewers, like all of this mud and everything just dumping into the streets. It's a real eyesore.
For stuff like that, there should just be the ability on the part of the city to really go after a company.
Arrest the guy until he fixes the situation.
I agree with you. Because these people do this crap, and they're like, well, I don't live there. It's not my problem. Just go dump it somewhere else.
We'll pay the fine. We keep paying the fine. What are you going to do about it?
Nah, man. Throw this guy in jail.
Yeah.
There should be much, much stiffer penalties, and cities should have the ability to really punish somebody like this. Or, it's the same sort of thing as this Millennium Hotel situation from years ago, which finally is being dealt with properly, but derelict business owners and building owners that allow in heavily populated areas, they allow their buildings to crumble and do nothing about it because they don't live there. Because they don't live in those neighborhoods, so they don't care.
No, they don't care. But this is wild because, like I said, D&R Building Group is St. Louis based, so it's their own city. And it says trucks began dumping dirt on the property in April. The mound reached 20 feet in height last week, and Ward 8 Alderwoman Jamie Cox Antwi said that the city had previously fined the developer, like we mentioned, multiple times, but they just pay the fine and keep dumping. And so now the city has condemned the site. There's a sign there that says the site's condemned, fine, and that the property owner could be fined up to $500 a day if the dirt is not removed by July 29th. Are they just going to eat the money and keep it there? I mean,
probably.
Something feels like, can you park somebody there to stop the truck? The next truck that comes and said no.
Here's what I would suggest: if there is a business, like an actual building where this company exists, load up as much of that dirt as you can, drive it over there, and then dump it on their front doorstep.
Put it back, bring it back.
Yep.
Say, I believe you forgot this.
I'm not saying you should do it. I'm just saying if it happened, then that's what happens.
Unbelievable. It's really a shame. It's such a great neighborhood, and then company decides we're just going to dump dirt.
It would be a real shame if somebody found where JLN is and just dumped all of their dirt back onto their property for them.
I don't know why it says based D&R building is based in St. Louis, and a texter says JLN
is in Connecticut.
Yeah, but this story says DNR. I don't know. This is very confusing.
It's probably intentionally confusing, so you can't find out where they are.
There's a reason that JLN doesn't have a website. What legit company doesn't have a website? I have a website.
Cardinals are not playing particularly well. They had a rough one over the weekend. They have not been doing well since last week, and we are going to talk it over with Matt Pauley as they open up a series against the Cubs at Busch Stadium tonight. Matt Pauley, host of Sports Open Line, joins us next on 104.1 FM KMOX.
The trade deadline is fast approaching, and Cardinals news could break at any moment. Will they buy? Will they sell? Every move shapes the future. Stay with KMOX Sports for breaking news, trade rumors, and expert analysis. KMOX is where you hear from the people making it.
There are things that pop up within a couple hours of the deadline that didn't seem to be at all possible.
On air, on X, at KMOX Sports, the voice of your Cardinals. KMOX.
Save big money on your next project when you shop at Menards. Tackle your toughest jobs with GE Pro Seal Max. It's a durable sealant that's perfect for window, door, and siding projects. It's paintable, water ready immediately, and stands up to the harshest weather conditions. Shop our selection of GE sealants in-store and on Menards.com. Plus, check out the weekly flyer to view all of our other great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
87 degrees currently, real field temperature 100. Sunny and sweltering heat today, a high of 101. Tonight, a thunderstorm in spots, followed by strong thunderstorms in the area late, a low of 79.
Sponsored by Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty 314-325-6888.
Need to sell your home and you want the most money? The name to remember is Gloria Lou. Yes, Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty. at 314-325-6888 and start packing.
This summer, local events are happening all over the place, and i3 Broadband is a big part of it. At i3, we love being part of the neighborhood and are proud to support the events that make our communities great. We're also proud to deliver 100% fiber-to-home internet, recognized as Greater St. Louis's next-door neighborhood fave. We give you lightning-fast speeds and reliable performance. Head over to i3broadband.com/radio today or call 866-806-5485 to upgrade, because life runs better on fiber, and i3 Broadband is here for you.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
You know, I'm always talking about taking care of everybody else. The kids, the family, the job, the house, the calendar. But today, I want to talk about you taking care of you. Because if you don't take care of you, who's going to take care of them? What if you could better understand your risk for chronic disease before symptoms begin? Simon Cancer Center has a tool called Your Disease Risk, and it does just that. It helps you get a better understanding of your risk for chronic disease and cancer before symptoms even start. It looks at things like lifestyle, family history, everyday habits, nutrition, physical activity, tobacco use, sleep, and screenings, because your health story is shaped by more than just genetics. And knowledge is powerful. When you know your risk, you can make better choices, ask better questions, and the ability to take actions early. Listen, it only takes a few minutes, but it can help guide decisions that matter for years to come. Prevention starts with awareness, and awareness starts with you. Visit sitement.washu.edu/YDR and take the Your Disease Risk Assessment today. Just a few minutes a day could make a difference for years to come. That website again is sitement.washu.edu/YDR.
They say good things come to those who wait, unless you bite into a Hot Pocket right out of the microwave. Waiting to see a financial advisor about retirement could also bring some pain. The pain of watching your money evaporate in a stock market decline. The pain of trying to figure out Social Security and Medicare on your own. Or the pain of writing huge checks to the IRS that you really didn't have to. At the All Financial Group, they believe the more you know, the better decisions they can make. They offer a complimentary retirement assessment. Find out where you are, how you're doing, and if there's a way to improve your retirement outcome. Don't wait. Call the All Financial Group today, 636-230-8824, or online at yourmoneymattersstl.com and set up your complimentary retirement review.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve All, NPN number 153-07419.
Get inside your Redbirds and the 2026 season every Tuesday at noon. It's All Access with Cardinals manager Ollie Marmol on your voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
The pitch on the way, a swing, and there's a high fly ball that's hit into left center field, playable, and the catch is made by Blade, and this ball game has come to an end.
Yo, Paulie! Paulie's a great name. Yo, Paulie! What'd you do for Paulie? Anything? Me, Paulie! I was responsible!
Paulie, we're here because of you.
Well, the Cardinals are in a bit of a slide right now. They have lost 8 of 11 games they have played since coming out of the All-Star break. And, it's not been very good.
And I will just add, as someone who predicted that the Cardinals will win 93 games this year, the Cardinals are going to have to go 40-17 to get to 93 wins.
Okay, well, that's just not going to happen.
That's a pretty good record.
No, that's just not going to happen. So I think that nobody was under the impression that was going to happen except for you. We are now joined on the Quiver River Electric guest line by Matt Pauley on the show now. Matt, how's it going?
It's going all right. How are you guys?
Yeah, we're fine. What's going on with this Cardinals team?
They're not scoring runs. That's the main thing right now. They pitched quite well against Cincinnati over the weekend, but they had the one game on Saturday where they had the 6-run inning and scored 7 total runs, but then they score 5 total runs over the other 2 games. So they're just not scoring runs right now.
And it seems to be happening against lesser opponents. Yeah. So, the Reds are whatever. The Angels are terrible. Arizona is a good team. I mean, that is a wild card contender. I think you can make a case for that. But it's not like they're playing the best competition. We were all worried about that stretch of games before the All-Star break. Against good teams, they did well there, but they are not doing well in these games against lesser opponents.
Yeah, and I would take that one step further because up until they scored in the 10th inning yesterday, they had not scored against the Cincinnati bullpen at all over the 3 games. All the runs up until that point had come against the starters that they were facing off against, and that's a terrible bullpen. That is just a terrible bullpen that Cincinnati has, and they had held the Cardinals scoreless until the 10th inning yesterday.
Well, so what do you think it means? Is it a stretch? Is it just, is it the beginning of a collapse? What do you think's going on?
Yeah, it could be any of those things, and I'm not trying to not answer your question, but it's I leave the door open for any of that. Could this be the beginning of the end where they really fall off? If they don't win tonight, they're a 500 team. They're one game over 500 right now at 53 and 52. So, and this has been going on for a little while. I mean, they even you get rid of those 2 Braves series that they took 2 out of 3 before the All-Star break, and there were a lot of series losses in there as well. So I think it would be disingenuous for me not to leave open the possibility that this is kind of who they actually are, and this is going to continue on, and they're going to fall back, and they're going to be below 500. But do I also think that there is the possibility that they do find themselves a little bit, and they're just going through a slump right now that every team in baseball goes through over 162 games? Yeah, I leave open that possibility as well. And I'm sure a lot of people listening right now probably don't leave that possibility open quite as much. I think a lot of people think that this is just the beginning of the end. And maybe they're going to be right, maybe they're not. I don't know. I think it's impossible to just evaluate which of those 2 things are happening, but I think they're both very I don't think one is more probable than the other at this point.
And to this point, they have, and this could change if time goes on and things continue to deteriorate. It will change, but against teams that are 500 or better, they've played relatively well all season. I mean, they are I think they're a game above 500 over teams that are also at or over 500. So the good teams, at least so far, they've played well against, and they are right at 500 against the bad teams this year. So it's really kind of they might be a perfect example of a mediocre team.
Yeah, 100% they are. But mediocre teams make it in the playoffs.
They can, with the extra wild card. That's the thing.
Exactly. So, but in many ways, and I've said this before, unless they're playing the Brewers, who they just don't seem to match up well against, it almost doesn't seem like it matters who they play against. If they put their best effort on the field, and effort's the wrong word, if they put their best production, I'll go with that. If they are as productive as they can possibly be, they can beat just about anybody. But if they let that go at all, because the margin of error is, again, so thin, if they fall off that at all, seemingly they can, and right now they are losing to just about any team.
Yeah, so to sum it up, I feel like, is it correct to say at the beginning of the season the Cardinals were overperforming? Right now, 3-7 in their last 10, they're slightly underperforming, and it's probably going to balance out where they're a mediocre team that will most likely just miss the playoffs.
Yeah, I think that's a fair statement, Amy. I have a hard time arguing much with that. I think they're going to remain in playoff contention. I keep saying that. They keep losing games. They keep falling back. But yeah, I mean, right now, they got to get out of it. They just have to get out of whatever's going on right now with them offensively.
Well, I think it's fair. I don't think you're contradicting yourself by saying they're still in it because, like you mentioned, just the state of the Central as well as that mediocre teams can make the playoffs. I don't think you're talking out of both sides of your mouth with that.
Okay, and they're 1.5 games out of a wild card spot right now.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, if they keep playing baseball the way they have played since the All-Star break, they will fall out of it, and they won't be in contention like they do. For me to be correct that I think they at least stay in contention for a playoff spot, they do have to play better baseball than what they've been playing recently.
What do you make of Matthew Liberatore's month so far? Because he had that 5-run game where they made him wear it. He gave up the runs early in the game against the Angels. Then he had to stay out there into the 6th. Prior to that, he had a 6-inning shutout. And before that, it was, 5 innings, 3 runs. So, and going back to the end of July, the end of June, he had a pretty good start at the end of June. So what do you make of what he's done? And all of this has happened after we were talking about the possibility of them just taking him out of the rotation because he was struggling really badly.
Yeah, and I still don't think that's going to happen. I think they're going to keep with him in the rotation. I think so. Up until his last start, he had gone on a 3-game run where he had given up 5 total runs over those 3 games, and that covered 16 innings. If that and there was 2 really good starts in there, and then there was 1 not so good start in there. He had a start against the Cubs where he gave up 4 runs in 5 innings. So not terrible, but certainly not good. If that's going to be who Matthew Liberatore is, that 3-game run where he's over every 3 games, he's maybe got 2 pretty good starts and 1 and he's given up 5 total runs over 3 games, you can take that. So then he goes and has his last performance against the Angels, and like you mentioned, 5 1/3 innings, gives up 5 runs on 9 hits, but he gives up every single one of those runs in the single inning. So the big inning comes back to get him, and that seems to be a problem for him. After the game, Oliver Marmol said that first inning, everything was off. He wasn't synced up. His body wasn't, mechanically he was wrong. Pitch shape, spin, like everything was wrong with Matthew Liberatore in that first inning, and then he was able to lock in after that. That was also the first time he had pitched in 10 days. He went from July 11th to July 21st. So I think what you're trying to figure out there, and we'll see what it looks like moving forward for Liberatore, but I think to be fair, you do have to leave open the possibility that after not pitching for a week and a half and he comes out and has a bad first inning, that it was all mechanical, and actually what Liberatore had done over the previous 3 games was totally legitimate, and every single pitcher at some point in time kind of goes through that where mechanics are just wacky and it looks bad. But at the same time, all season long, Liberatore has had problems with the big inning. So you also have to leave open the possibility that what we saw in the last start was just a continuation of who he's been all season long, and it wasn't connected to the week and a half off, and it wasn't a fluky type thing, that's who he is, and it's just a continuation. So I am kind of talking out both sides of my mouth right now, but I think this is how you have to evaluate things, because I don't totally know what the answer is on that last start, if that first inning, again, was a continuation or if it was something that was a little bit different. That's why his next start, I think, means so much, because maybe that starts to tell the story a little bit more.
So the Cardinals have had a couple of minor transactions. They put Joel Pozo on waivers. He got claimed by Baltimore. Scott Blewett is now with the A's. They did a deal with the A's for some cash. So it's not like nothing significant has happened, but the trade deadline is a week from today. So how you feeling now?
Yeah, I don't think that they're going to go buy in any type of major way right now. And I think that they're going to try to maximize some return on some guys if they can. I don't think it's just going to be a straight 100% sell-off, but I think it's going to be closer to that than the other. Could something change between now and August 3rd? Sure. But I don't think this team has shown anything here lately. I would like to see no matter what, I would maybe like to see them go get some relief help just to help them stay afloat and survive the rest of the way, because that bullpen right now is really, really struggling and having a hard time holding leads and giving multiple innings and all that sort of stuff. So, I think it's going to be closer to a nothing burger than anything else, but I would expect that the Cardinals do maybe move some guys and get some more pieces for the future.
Yeah, I think any additions this is definitely not the team to go out of your way to bolster it for a playoff run. It just isn't. And the thing is, you don't really have to worry about the fan base's reaction. It's not like Cardinals fans are going to go, how did you not go out there and do something? They're not. They're just, I think they fully understand what this team is. And even if they get to September and they're still in the picture, like I think you and I are both kind of in line on that, I think they could still be in that playoff conversation late into the season. Even then, if you revise history, look back and go, they should have done something in the deadline, no one's going to say that. Nobody's going to say, look at them, they're a half game out of a wild card. They should have picked somebody up at the deadline. I don't think you're going to hear any Cardinals fans say that.
You'll hear it a little bit. The no one, I think I disagree with you.
You know what I mean.
Because,
you know what I mean, buddy.
But I mean, I hear it. I do the post game show.
There's always one
and I
guy.
hear it.
There's always one guy.
I wouldn't call it even a vocal minority, but there are a group of people out there that truly believe right now that this team needs to do everything in their power to make it into the postseason.
Let me talk to him.
No matter what. And because they take this approach that, well, once you get in, anything can happen.
Mm-mm.
And I push back on that. I think you build this organization as a way to try to get a roster that looks like a legit World Series roster as soon as possible. That doesn't mean you're not trying to get to the playoffs this year. That means you do nothing. You do absolutely nothing that could mortgage the future at all. You don't trade a single guy who could maybe be an important part of this team moving forward. And, Rons, there are people out there that still do not want to hear that.
Yeah, well, there are some people you just can't take seriously ever. Hey, there's you know something, I believe this. There is the Cardinals team that won 83 games and won a World Series. It's one of the best things to ever happen to them and one of the worst simultaneously, because winning 83 games, going on to a World Series title, empowers people to believe that, hey, look at this. This can happen, while completely forgetting that team was awesome. That was a really damn good roster that got healthy at the right time. That was not some bum ass roster that they dragged all the way to the championship. That's not what that was.
No, it's not. Go look at you make a great point. Go look at that roster and go look at the guys that were getting healthy. And I think they always believed that they could go on a run. Same thing with the Blues and the Stanley Cup run. I hear it every year from people. If it's not going well, think about the Stanley Cup year and the run they went on. Like, hope is not a strategy. And looking back at those teams and what they did, it's all about being hopeful.
Matt, I just have to say, though, for 99% of my life, hope is my only strategy. That's all I got.
That's all you have. Yeah. That's okay.
All right.
Hope is good. So
you could be the outlier, Amy. Hope can be your strategy.
It's all I have. Don't take it from me, Matt.
Matt Pauley has Redbird Rush Hour at 5 o'clock, pregame show at 5:50, and then 6:45 Cardinals Cubs at Busch Stadium. Goodbye, Matt.
Goodbye.
Yo, Paulie, your sister's with me. I'll call you back later. See ya.
I'm serious about that 83 win team.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
It's almost like obviously you'll take a World Series anytime, but also it instilled this false belief that you can be a totally mediocre team. That was not an 83 win team on paper. It just wasn't. That was a very, very good team. They got healthy and they won. It's not like this team with a couple of good players on it winning a whole thing.
Listen, hope is I go into every race going, you know what? Maybe a very mediocre person can go to the Olympics.
Oh, no. We have a Cracker Barrel update?
Yeah.
I can't wait to find out what this is next on KMOX.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM KMOX.
Can you believe politicians nearly doubled state spending since 2019? Yeah, that's twice the rate of inflation.
What do we get for all that extra spending? Nothing.
Yeah, and get this, over 200 loopholes are buried in our tax code, written by lobbyists for wealthy corporations.
Our tax code is rigged against us.
We get taxed on our paycheck, our home, everything we buy.
I guess somebody's got to pay for all that spending.
That's why we need Amendment 5. It puts politicians on a leash.
Forces them to cut taxes and control spending, whether they like it or not.
Amendment 5 closes the loopholes, eliminates income taxes, cuts property taxes, and gives $3,000 a year to average working families.
We decide. not the politicians.
Amendment 5 is the biggest tax cut in Missouri history.
I'm voting yes on Amendment 5. Paid for by Missouri Promise PAC. Mark Ellinger, Treasurer.
The 3-2 pitch with the runner going a swing.
Ready to elevate your game? Join the MBA Sportscasters Forum on Tuesday, September 15th in St. Louis. Learn from Cardinals beat reporters, broadcasters, and Hall of Famer John Rooney as they break down play-by-play, reporting, interviewing, and covering the game. Then cap off the day with the Cardinals versus Giants at Busch Stadium. Step into the booth, sharpen your skills. Go to KMOX.com/events for details and registration.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-323-8922. 800-323-8922. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-323-8922.
You know, here in St. Louis, word of mouth still matters, and I'm pretty careful about who I recommend, especially when it comes to something as personal as estate planning. I'm Tom Ackerman. My family has been working with the Laterman Law Firm for over 20 years now, and the reason is simple. They don't just create documents and send you on your way. They help make sure your plan works. Because let's be honest, life changes. Family needs and circumstances change. Laws change. But most estate plans don't change over time as needs, circumstances, and laws change. They're outdated, sitting in a drawer. People assume they're fine, and their plan will work when they need it to work. At the Laterman Law Firm, it's not a one-time transaction. It's an ongoing process. They build a plan to protect your family and your assets, and then for a fixed annual fee, they help keep it up to date as both your life and assets change. Check out the Laterman Law Firm at LatermanLaw.com or give them a call at 314-514-9100. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friend Stewie from Stewart's American Mortgage Corporation. Stewie, I think this is going to be a strange season for real estate. Just kind of feel it in my gut. What can people do apropos of their mortgage to put themselves in a better position to get that house?
You know what, Dave, that's a great question. There's a bidding wars that are going to happen this spring. You want to get the house. This is how you're going to make things better. Number one, we give you the power of the pre-approval letter. That means you can go into our portal and generate the letter and edit it for any amount you want up to the amount you're approved without chasing the loan officer. Number two, the Bagel loan. No closing costs, no title fees, no lender fees, no appraisal fees. It's a Bagel. Bagel looks like a zero, easy to remember. Add that money you would normally pay onto your bid and beat the other offers out. And you know what? The third thing is we can close fast. 10 days. They're going to look away at the other offers because most lenders take as much as 30 days to get done.
You can call or text Stewie at his personal cell phone, 314-324-4440, or you can Google the Bagel Loan, NMLS 226715.
Chris Ronchi, Amy Markscores, because life is too short for boring radio. 104.1 FM, KMOX.
All right, Ronch, we've got news. Cracker Barrel news. It's a Cracker Barrel beat.
Okay.
The CEO of Cracker Barrel, Julie Masino, you remember her. She was the CEO when last summer she introduced a simplified new logo for the barrel and remodeled a bunch of stores, removing the traditional nostalgic items and look. Well, Julie Masino is stepping down after her tenure that was very controversial in the barrel world. She'll be stepping down in October. She's going to help with the transition. And David Deno, he's the CEO of Bloomin' Brands, which is the owner of Outback Steakhouse. He will be taking over in August of 2026.
So it is now in hindsight. I mean, it was at the time, too, pretty insane that there was such a reaction to them just trying to renovate? Like they're just modernizing the logo, and they wanted to redo the inside of the restaurant, and people took it as an assault.
It was
on
a culture
them.
war.
How sensitive do you have to be to look at a Cracker Barrel being renovated? Like, oh, let's just do a new color scheme, and oh, let's just do a new logo, like a lot of companies do, and say, oh, that's a personal attack against you and your politics.
I felt attacked.
You have to be literally crazy.
I felt attacked.
Then you're literally crazy.
Matt, was your home barrel renovated?
No, mine walked away unscathed. Thank goodness. God bless America.
And you're still not going back there.
Why are you hoarse over there?
I don't know.
He's eating.
I'm eating grapes.
Show.
Speaking of lunacy, in Washington, D.C., there's a lot of that, and we're going to talk to Andrew Egger, White House correspondent for The Bulwark. That is next on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Hey guys, this is Kevin Wheeler. If you're looking for a little kick in the pants when it comes to dropping a little weight, getting better shape, getting more into the gym, think about Burn Balance Complex, which you can pick up at Supplement Superstores. I've been using it since it came out. It's fantastic. You notice right away the difference. Look, we all have busy schedules. I do and you do. You know, we all have problems sometimes with controlling our eating patterns and staying on a plan. Well, Burn Balance Complex makes that so much easier. It's not magic, but it definitely helps make it easier. It is a complete metabolism system. It's not just a fat burner. So what you're talking about is a natural weight loss option. So if you're a person that doesn't want to go get a prescription, you're not into injections, this is a great choice for you. In addition to the metabolism boost, you get to lower stress and cortisol levels, get better sleep. It can help control appetite and cravings, all-day focused energy with no jitters, no crash at the end of the day. If you want the help, and look, we all need it, I know I do, go to Supplement Superstores, tell them your story, mention Kevin Wheeler, and they'll knock 30% off the Burn Balance Complex. You can find your location at supplementsuperstores.com.
When Donald Trump needs conservative votes to help pass his agenda for Missouri, Representative Trisha Burns never answers the call. Trisha Burns has missed 370 votes. Burns is bucking President Trump's priorities. Burns did not vote to stop DEI initiatives, prevent China from owning Missouri land, defund Planned Parenthood, and Burns did not vote to ban boys from girls' sports. Trisha Burns not showing up for Missouri and President Trump. Instead, Trisha Burns spends her time pulling pranks on the Suicide Prevention Hotline. Yes, you heard that right. Trisha Burns lied to the police and staged a fake suicide emergency. She sent a series of messages to the hotline and said she, quote, had a gun to her head, end quote. When she got caught, she said there'd be no consequences because she's a politician. By August 4th, vote to show Trisha Burns that there are consequences to being bad at your job.
Let's Go Brandon PAC paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. Chris Foss, Treasurer.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-358-6868. That's 800-358-6868. Again, 800-358-6868.
The trusted voice of St. Louis. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
It is 11 o'clock. It's already 90 degrees with sunshine in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterey. There are more cases of a foodborne illness caused by contaminated lettuce. We get more from ABC's Elizabeth Schulze.
This is now one of the largest foodborne illness outbreaks in U.S. history. The CDC says 4 more states, Illinois, Kansas, Oklahoma, and Pennsylvania, are linked to that spike in cyclosporiasis cases across a total of 9 states caused by shredded iceberg lettuce sourced by Taylor Farms. customers. Nearly 2,000 people in those states got sick after eating the lettuce at Taco Bell, which removed all affected products. That is just a fraction, though, of the record-breaking nearly 12,000 potential cases of this parasite nationwide.
It's also the worst year for measles in the U.S. in more than 30 years. International health officials will decide later this year if the U.S. will lose its measles-free status. A former sheriff's deputy will serve probation and must register as a sex offender. 27-year-old James Short, who worked at the City Justice Center, pleaded guilty today to having sexual contact with a female inmate in January of 2025. Separately, he is also set to face trial in September on charges of child endangerment after his 2-year-old nephew accidentally shot himself in the abdomen at Short's residence in Ferguson. The victim in the Pontoon Beach shooting has been identified. Major case squad still investigating the shooting that occurred early Sunday morning in the 4000 block of Pontoon Road. They say 34-year-old Ciante Matthews was found with multiple gunshot wounds and died shortly thereafter after arriving at an area hospital. A person of interest is in custody. Hundreds of thousands of people are under evacuation orders in portions of Spain and France as hot, dry conditions continue sparking wildfires in the region. Those fires have led to the death of one person in Spain, and dozens of firefighters have been hurt.
The widespread blazes forcing more than 300,000 in southwestern Europe out of their homes as firefighters battle the advancing flames. Spain declaring a national emergency as authorities say a 78-year-old man was found dead in the Valencia region, the country's first fire casualty.
ABC's Marcus Moore says the fires are so large they can be seen from space by satellite. St. Louis County Parks and Recreation District reporting that out of the almost 300,000 acres, 300,000 sunflowers planted at Cliff Cave Park, only about a half an acre remains. So if you had plans for a photo shoot, you may need to wait until next year. They say the weeds were very difficult to maintain this year, and deer have eaten a significant portion of the sunflowers. The weather is sponsored by Steve Butts and the entire Crawford Butts family.
An extreme heat warning through 9 this evening. Sunshine and some clouds, blazing hot and oppressively humid. Our high 100 AccuWeather real field temperatures over 110. There may be a thunderstorm in spots later this afternoon or this evening. Otherwise, fair skies, uncomfortably warm and sticky overnight, though 80. A mix of sun and clouds tomorrow and not as oppressive, the high near 90. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It's currently 90 degrees with sunshine as America celebrates its 250th anniversary. Steve Butts and everyone at Crawford Butts Insurance wishes everyone a safe and joyful summer, proudly serving the community for generations. Happy 250th, America. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
Chris and Amy now. The Dave Glover Show at 1 on the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
On Mondays, we talk with Andrew Egger, White House correspondent from the Bulwark and co-author of Morning Shots, a newsletter you can have delivered straight to your inbox. Andrew is with us today on KMOX. Good morning, Andrew.
Hey, guys. Good morning. How you doing?
Hey, we're doing okay. How's Mitch McConnell doing? Because it looks like they have released another photo of him and apparently being released from the hospital. What do we know?
Yes. So this is a news statement just breaking this morning. We have another photo of Mitch McConnell and his wife, Elaine Chao. Another statement basically saying he's not yet cleared to resume, going to events and things like this. They are somewhat worried about minimizing the risk of another fall, which is what put him in the hospital in the first place. But that he is well, that he's recovering. This is again, everything that we're getting from this statement from his office and from his doctors. Mitch McConnell obviously has not been around D.C. now for a number of weeks. There have been a lot of conspiracy theories swirling around his departure. If I were Mitch McConnell, I might release a video statement. I don't know, but you can only spend so much time and effort, slapping down online rumors. And he's always been sort of notoriously private in his personal life. So I guess I kind of understand why they are taking this approach. But it's a pressing matter. I mean, they really do need him back if they're going to try to get any legislation passed for the remainder of the summer. It's a slim majority that they have in the Senate, and they need every senator they can get, even though he's obviously no longer the majority leader there.
Yeah, and we've had ailing senators and representatives before, and we've had elderly senators and representatives, who are in office, I think, long past the time that they should have been. So it's not so much that Mitch McConnell being in the hospital or being absent is that unusual. Isn't most of this just all around the lack of transparency surrounding his condition?
Yeah, there's a lot of that. I mean, a lot of this is structural stuff, right? I mean, you said we've had ailing senators before, but we really are in an environment, a social media environment now, where these stories can take on a life of their own, where there's so little trust, just sort of around Congress in general and around the information that we get digitally, period. Like, a couple of years ago, a statement from a senator's office and a picture of them kind of smiling at the camera and being like, hey, I'm still here, I'm doing great. I mean, that would put a lot of rumors to rest. Now, of course, we're in this sort of AI-drenched age where trust in all of our institutions is at an all-time low, where there's a lot of people who make their money in sort of the political influencer sphere, kicking up, more and more theories about things not being the way they appear. And so there just is a higher level of scrutiny, just in a vacuum. And when you add to that the fact that we are coming off of a range of stories of different lawmakers, different federal lawmakers being absent for unexplained periods of time. There was a Republican congressman who was battling depression in the hospital, whose absence was not explained for a period of months. When you're coming off of stories like Dianne Feinstein and her advanced age and just sort of deterioration, guys like Joe Biden, right? I mean, the president of the United States faced a lot of these exact same sorts of critiques just because he was quite old and there were a lot of significant questions about his health. And I think that the environment is only going to continue to grow more suspicious for all of these things. And obviously it goes along with sort of a political critique that we're seeing more and more from different people in both parties about a need for generational change in leadership, for getting younger blood in to various positions in terms of political power. And all that stuff is in the background of this, what would otherwise be just sort of a story of a pretty old lawmaker who has been hospitalized after a fall.
Oil prices have come back a bit. That's after the U.S. and Iran have some sort of, I don't know if you want to call it a ceasefire, but I guess it's that at the moment. How much staying power, though, does this pause in the strikes have?
Yeah, I mean, this is... I feel like I keep coming on this show every week and giving some version of the same basic case analysis of the president being pulled between two bad options here, right? I mean, what he would like is for his threats of violence against Iran to just shake them out of their senses and make them be willing to offer more concessions that we don't actually have to go get than we've gotten so far. But what we saw on Friday, after 2 weeks of Trump saying, well, this negotiating stuff isn't going so great, let's go back to pummeling them and see if that shakes anything loose. We got 2 weeks of that. Then last week, we got another round of really strong, violent rhetoric from the president. Like, if Iran keeps blowing up boats in the Strait of Hormuz, or not blowing them up, if Iran keeps firing on boats in the Strait of Hormuz, we're going to start blowing up bridges and power plants. So back to that really maximalist rhetoric. But then you get to Friday, and as was reported in several outlets, the White House gets together and they basically say to the president, look, you can go through with this if you want to go through with this. And we think we will have, tactical success with these operations if we do. We have a lot of military supremacy, to state it mildly, in the region. But you have to be willing to experience some blowback across a number of axes. You need to understand that that you could see mass civilian casualties with this sort of thing. You need to be worried about the level of the missiles that we have stockpiled after so many weeks and months of war, and that's getting pretty low. And what we saw then coming out of that meeting was 3 days now of cessation in these strikes. It's hard to read the tea leaves of this any more than we already have, in terms of, again, the White House bouncing back and forth between not getting very much at the negotiating table and then not getting very much in terms of concessions from conflict. But one thing that we have seen from Iran today was them coming out and saying, yes, we are talking with Oman right now about how to sort of regularize maritime operations inside the Strait of Hormuz. To read the tea leaves of that a little bit, these are the two countries that would basically need to strike a bilateral deal about charging tolls in the Strait of Hormuz in perpetuity going forward. So where previously we had this international waterway with free travel for any country that needed to make use of it, we are now perhaps inching toward a world where Iran and Oman control who gets in and who gets out, or at the very least get to scrape a good amount financially off the top of travel through this waterway. So very a far cry from what the United States has demanded, from where the status quo was before the beginning of this war. We will see whether it ends up being a status quo that the White House is willing to allow to persist in the aftermath of this. But again, as I keep saying, it's not clear that they have a lot of really good options short of massive military action of the sort that we haven't seen yet, and that it's not at all clear there'd be political will for in this country.
We're speaking with Andrew Egger, White House correspondent for The Bulwark. And Andrew, Senate conservatives, some led by Senator Mike Lee, are calling on Senate Majority Leader John Thune to cancel the August recess so that they can all debate President Trump's #1 legislative priority, the Save America Act. Where do we stand with the Save America Act? I was getting the impression that this thing just wasn't going to happen. It wasn't going to pass.
Well, I don't think we've seen anything yet that should cause you to reevaluate that. I mean, the bottom line here is that this is a piece of legislation that doesn't have the votes in the Senate. There are a number of Republican lawmakers who don't like the package as a package. They might be okay with some electoral reforms. They might, for instance, be okay with some form of national voter ID. That's pretty popular, actually, among a number of people in this country. It polls very well. But as far as this particular legislative package is concerned, which Trump has really staked his reputation to and staked his entire domestic agenda to, I mean, he has repeatedly even been willing to kind of sabotage other pieces of legislation that he likes in an attempt to put more pressure on the Senate to pass this thing. But when we look at efforts like this from Mike Lee, I mean, this is, at least in my read, very much a matter of winning a certain kind of online popularity contest among Republicans. You want to be seen as the senator who is doing the most to push this top priority of the president's through. Mike Lee is taking advantage of that. He's getting a lot of accolades on Twitter for being the guy who's calling for this thing, by being willing to make John Thune the bad guy. But John Thune supports the Save America Act, and this is a thing we've seen from the leader, from Leader Thune for weeks now. Basically, him saying, "What the heck do you want me to do? Like, I'm for it. Most of my conference is for it. There's not a majority that's for it. There are a number of holdouts here that we just don't have the votes to pass this. If the White House is that concerned about passing this piece of legislation, it should get those senators on the phone, and it should be putting the pressure on them. Why am I the bad guy here? Is kind of the line that Thune has had to take. But I mean, we were talking about McConnell a little bit ago. It's really hard. It's really hard to be sort of the face of what is seen as a Republican establishment in this extremely anti-establishment moment. That's true in both parties, but it is certainly true of the MAGA movement right now, of the current Republican Party, because the president has sort of seen fit to cast his pretty stalled out domestic agenda as a factor, not of him, pushing for legislation that just doesn't have majority support in the Senate, but as, some sort of shadow Republican establishment still sort of working to frustrate him behind the scenes.
But also there was this bill coming out of the House, the Stop Insider Trading Act, which I think most of us are kind of on board with the idea of that. However, they attached an amendment to it, which is basically the SAVE Act. So they put them together, and that passed. But most Democrats, if not all of them, voted against it. So what about that bill? Does that have much chance of ultimately becoming law?
I don't think that there's anything that is... Look, anything could happen, right? I don't think it is very likely that we are going to see the current SAVE Act in its current permutation attached to any rider that will force it through. I think what we may see, and there has been some chatter about this in various parts of the Senate, is maybe they try to carve it up a little bit. Maybe they try to find some portions of the SAVE Act and sort of triangulate for, well, what's a elections legislative package that could get some of these Republican holdouts, could maybe even get a couple of Democratic votes, but would still be enough to sort of placate the president and let him move on, mentally and emotionally onto any number of these other things. I mean, we're in a weird moment right now because Republicans have basically passed one piece of legislation in this whole first year and a half that they've had a trifecta in the government, that they've controlled the House and the Senate and the White House. And that was the One Big Beautiful Bill last year, which did a lot of stuff, but which has been kind of a tough sell. I mean, there was some political polling just out this morning basically saying a lot of people, when they think of that bill, they're like, yeah, that probably helped some people out financially, but it didn't do that much for me. And Republicans have had a hard time making the connection between that and any increase in prosperity. So they're looking for other things, other legislative wins they might be able to notch this summer before everybody's really done and really just back in their districts campaigning. And meanwhile, you have the president really singularly fixated on this elections bill, this Save America Act. And there's this real disconnect between what most Republican legislators would like to see, which is some new win somewhere on affordability or something that's sort of populist like this, like what you were just talking about, insider trading type stuff. And it has been an enormous amount of labor for House and Senate leadership to try to find some common ground with the White House on this, and so far they're coming up empty. So we'll see what happens. But it's been a source of a lot of frustration for a lot of Republicans right now.
Andrew, I feel like I'm just surrounded by crazy currently, but we are seeing a lot of rhetoric coming out of the Democratic Socialists of America, just kind of their rise with some DSA candidates registering as Democrats and thus winning, being able to win some of these elections. But the DSA chair, who was recently interviewed on Fox, was pretty open about their beliefs. They would like to abolish the Senate, defund the Pentagon, abolish prisons, and so forth. Not your standard Democratic platform. Even progressive Democrats aren't for abolishing the Senate. So my question is, on the Hill, in D.C., how much traction, how much support is the DSA platform really getting among Democrats?
Well, if you're talking about among actual elected Democrats, the answer is very little. I mean, this is not something that appeals to any except for a very small class, primarily in the House, of progressive legislators. When it comes to America writ large, there's this really strange disconnect that's happening right now, because if you went down the list of all of those specific policy positions and pulled them all, you would not get an enormous amount of support for any of those things. I mean, if you go down that list, you're basically abolishing all of the basic structures of America as a political unit in the world today. It's a pie in the sky platform, to put it mildly. At the same time, a lot of these DSA-type progressives have been getting a lot of traction politically just because the Democratic brand is seen as so tarnished and so damaged by the party's inability to stand up to Donald Trump and to withstand specifically his return. And there's this enormous sort of insurgent, anti-establishment energy among the voter base where they don't necessarily like these DSA candidates for any of that stuff that you're talking about right now, but they just see them as more willing to knife fight with the president and with Republicans than the Democrats that are in office right now. And it's a real problem. It's a problem for Democrats, and it's a problem that we've seen just real recently. This is exactly the kind of thing that we saw in the wake of Trump's election in 2016. Was you had a wave of real fury among the Democratic base at its own establishment that would have allowed a guy like this to come along and clean their clocks in the first place. They kind of swerved to the left on a bunch of these policy issues and in terms of a bunch of policy rhetoric specifically. And then that comes back to bite them a lot in the next couple cycles where Republicans hang things like defund the police around Democrats' necks and use it to sink them in a lot of winnable races. And I think what a lot of sort of more normie Democrats or more establishment Democrat types are worried about is seeing the same thing happen right now, that there's this massive backlash against the president, against what he's doing to the country in a lot of these areas, but that some of the people who are coming forward to channel that backlash are going to end up sparking a backlash of their own that then Republicans on the swing back of the pendulum will be able to capitalize another cycle or two down the road. And they do not seem to have a very good strategy for forestalling that or preventing that, again, because some of these candidates are so good at channeling that kind of insurgent rage.
Thank you, Andrew Egger, as always, and we will talk again next week.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Andrew Egger is the White House correspondent and co-author of the Morning Shots newsletter, All for the Bulwark, and you should subscribe to it. He joins us every Monday on KMOX.
I'm John Morgan. There are many reasons to hire Morgan & Morgan for your injury case. Reason number 3. First, all lawyers are not the same. If my family had an injury case and I couldn't hire us, there are only about 3 to 4% of the lawyers out there that I would hire. And here's why. Most of them rarely, if ever, go to trial. They just take the last best offer. Hell, you can do that yourself. Do this. If you're looking for a lawyer, Google Morgan & Morgan results and see what comes up. It may shock you. Then Google the firm you're thinking of hiring and do the same. That may shock you as well. We became the largest injury firm in the world for a reason. We won a lot. $30 billion and counting. Morgan & Morgan. For the people.com. Who would I hire? I'd hire us.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
MyLowe's Pro Rewards members. Save big during Lowe's Pro Savings Days. Get your member volume discount plus an extra 5% off eligible orders with a quote of $2,000 or more. And buy more and save more with up to 20% off in-stock molding when you spend $250 or more. Members get more at Lowe's. Valid through 7/31. Exclusions, more terms, and restrictions apply. Can't be combined with any contract or special pricing. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Visit the Pro Desk or Lowe's.com/terms for more details. Subject to change.
Spreadsheets, clunky software, 100 different logins just to run your business?
There's a better way. Odoo. One simple, connected platform that handles sales, inventory, accounting, and more. So you can focus on growing, not juggling. Make the switch today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Summer is officially here, and that means the family internet, it is working overtime. All our lives are always online, and that's why I rely on i3 Broadband. Traditional cable just can't keep up, but i3 delivers 100% true fiber directly into my home for ultra-smooth, reliable performance. Plus, they're a local provider that actually treats you like a neighbor. Skip the fake fiber. Head over to i3broadband.com/radio today or call 866-806-5485 to upgrade because life runs better on fiber, and i3 Broadband is here for you.
Hey guys, Glover here with my very, very good friend, Dr. Kathy Maupin at BioBalanceHealth.com. If you have reached that certain age and you're just not feeling very well and nothing's working the way it used to work, go see Dr. Kathy. She is not only a medical doctor, she is a patient of this bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. It absolutely works. It's a long-term solution. She is an artist when it comes to helping you with your hormones. BioBalanceHealth.com for Dr. Kathy Maupin.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined, and the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-720-8444. 314-720-8444. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-720-8444.
In Forest Park. Relive the magic of the 1904 World's Fair when the heartwarming hometown favorite Meet Me in St. Louis returns to the Muni stage August 6th through 13th. Sponsored by Commerce Bank and Commerce Trust Company. Your seats are waiting at muni.org.
Soldiers Memorial Military Museum looks at American military history through the lens of St. Louis. From the Revolutionary War to the present day, the gallery showcase stories of local service members and delve into the city's wartime history. Outside, the Court of Honors includes monuments to those who lost their lives in World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. Open Wednesday through Sunday. Admission is free. Find information about special exhibits at mohistory.org/memorial. That's mohistory.org/memorial.
One city, one voice. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
All right, so I had a buddy this weekend was doing yard work in his yard, and unearthed.
Where else would he do it?
He's
like I do it in the
helping
bathroom.
someone else.
Oh.
His buddy goes to other people's homes, helps the elderly.
I see.
But in his own yard. And hornets can build nests, I guess, in maybe up high. But anyway, they build them in the ground. And he disturbed a hornet's nest, but didn't know it. Didn't see the hole, because it's this hole from the hornet's nest in the ground, until all of a sudden he heard a buzzing. And he felt like a sting on his back. He's like, ow! And then he looked, and there were hundreds of hornets swarming. And he took off running, and he's like swinging his, clothes, like trying to swing his shirt around or whatever. And he's running and swinging his arms, and he's getting like attacked by these hornets. And by the time he made it up to the house, I guess they did abandon their chase. He didn't bring them into the house, but he had 6 hornet stings, which is, hornets are really, really bad. It's not a bee sting. And I had a honeybee sting the other day that drew blood. I didn't know honeybees could draw blood, but they do. So we got
Went
6.
to high school with Drew Blood.
So we got 6 hornet stings. How many hornet stings does it take to kill you?
Well, more than 6.
Well, I thought it was 5, because I said, did you go to the hospital? He said, no. He goes, it hurt really bad. I said, did you cry? He said, no, he didn't cry. But they tried to put some salve on the stings that didn't really help. So he said he self-medicated. He took a couple of Advil and then started drinking. I'm like, are you serious? He's like, oh yeah. He's like, I started drinking wine, and then I had some bourbon. He goes, because I was in so much pain. And then the toxins from the hornet stings can make you feel ill. And he did start to feel like kind of ill. So, and he didn't sleep well that night at all, obviously. But I thought 5 could kill you. How many do you think can kill you?
10.
Matthew?
I was going to say 1 in the right spot.
I imagine that if you have an allergy or something,
but
then
not allergies, because we all saw My Girl. Honeybees
Yeah.
can kill you if you have an allergy. Yeah. Assuming no allergy, a healthy adult.
15.
Yeah, I said 5. You can take well over 1,000, and you're going to be fine.
1,000 hornet stings?
Yes, it says. I've looked up on several different sites, and it says adults 1,000 plus stings based on the threshold of roughly 10 stings per pound of body weight. So
Jeez, all right.
That's a lot of stings.
Yeah.
Like you can, if you're 170 pounds, you're looking at 1,700 hornet stings, which is a lot. So I feel like you're safe. But I was so off with that person dying from hornet stings.
Well, I'm glad your friend's still alive.
That's bad, though.
This is a long live read for Rottler, by the way.
Does Rottler take care of hornets?
I know. I don't know. Because, maybe.
Hornets can be a pest.
Yeah, and they're in the ground. Oh, they're a huge pest.
I didn't know they're in the ground.
Yeah. Hornets are bad. They're the bad ones. Because wasps hurt. Honeybees are sweet. And like I said, I did not think that this honeybee would hurt this bad, but I wanted to cry.
That is, that's where the aliens from War of the Worlds came. They came up from the ground, started killing everybody.
Yeah, but didn't they kill everybody one at a time?
Yeah, I got a problem with that. We've talked about it.
That is not the most efficient way. One at a time?
Yeah, that was my...
That's like eating rice one at a time.
I love the movie. I think the Tom Cruise movie from 2005, I guess, something like that. It's a really good movie. But man, it does bother me that these sophisticated aliens who had plotted this extermination of an entire planet for years and years and years, their most efficient way to kill everybody was to shoot them one by one with lasers. Just didn't.
We have a know-it-all
Come on,
texter who
guys.
said those are yellow jackets.
Oh.
know.
All right, it
Anyway.
is Shark Week. It is Shark Week right now, and our guy, we got a guy. We have a Shark Week guy.
We do.
Yeah, Keith Poe. He's a shark tagger, conservationist, and he's a researcher out of Southern California. We got an alligator guy and we have a shark guy. Well, Keith Poe is our shark guy, and he's always sending photos to Matt Pajeski. And we can't wait to talk to Keith when we come back
Shark
on.
photos.
Oh, the shark photos. They're not they're not sexy photos.
Unless you consider sharks sexy.
Well, they are all naked. Keith Poe joins us next on KMOX.
Some shows are about sports. Some shows are about nothing. This one's kind of both.
So the show's not really a sports show per se, it's just a show. Glover here. We talk about whatever's happening, life, work, random stuff. And yeah, the Cardinals always find their way in. I'm a lifelong fan. Love going to the games, love supporting the team, and love hanging out with you guys.
The Dave Glover Show at 1, and then Cardinals baseball. Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
It's a hot one. 91 degrees, real feel 105. The high today, 101. Tonight, partly cloudy, warm, humid. Could be a thunderstorms in spots this evening, followed by strong thunderstorm in the area late this tonight. A low of 79. Weather sponsored by Scott Credit Union.
Teachers, healthcare workers, first responders, and military, this one's for you. Scott Credit Union's Community Heroes program offers special financing on homes, autos, and more. It's our way of saying thanks. Visit scu.org today. Equal housing lender, NMLS number 415767. Terms and conditions apply.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
Can you believe politicians nearly doubled state spending since 2019? Yeah, that's twice the rate of inflation.
What do we get for all that extra spending? Nothing.
Yeah, and get this, over 200 loopholes are buried in our tax code, written by lobbyists for wealthy corporations.
Our tax code is rigged against us.
We get taxed on our paycheck, our home, everything we buy.
I guess somebody's got to pay for all that spending.
That's why we need Amendment 5. It puts politicians on a leash.
Forces them to cut taxes and control spending, whether they like it or not.
Amendment 5 closes the loopholes, eliminates income taxes, cuts property taxes, and gives $3,000 a year to average working families.
We decide, not the politicians.
Amendment 5 is the biggest tax cut in Missouri history.
I'm voting yes on Amendment 5. Paid for by Missouri Promise PAC. Mark Ellinger, Treasurer.
Well, it's official. My friends have all switched to Pure Talk because I told them they could save a bunch of money on a super reliable high-speed network with unlimited data. And because they're my friends, they trust me. As for the rest of you, well, Pure Talk understands that even though you might like me, you're not just going to take my word for it, nor should you. For that reason, and for a very limited time, Pure Talk is offering any of their plans for just $15 a month for the first 3 months, including their top-tier unlimited plan that normally sells for $65 a month. Think of it like a test drive, a super simple way to save $150 while you kick the tires on Pure Talk's blazing fast network, and a fine way to see for yourself why I switched from Big Wireless, along with a few 100,000 of my closest friends. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and be connected to Pure Talk's friendly U.S. customer service team. Again, dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and let the savings begin.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friend Stewie from Stewart's American Mortgage Corporation. Stewie, I think this is going to be a strange season for real estate. Just kind of feel it in my gut. What can people do apropos of their mortgage to put themselves in a better position to get that house?
You know what, Dave, that's a great question. There's a bidding wars that are going to happen this spring. You want to get the house. This is how you're going to make things better. Number one, we give you the power of the pre-approval letter. That means you can go into our portal and generate the letter and edit it for any amount you want up to the amount you're approved without chasing the loan officer. Number two, the Bagel loan. No closing costs, no title fees, no lender fees, no appraisal fees. It's a Bagel. Bagel looks like a zero, easy to remember. Add that money you would normally pay onto your bid and beat the other offers out. And you know what? The third thing is we can close fast. 10 days. They're going to look away at the other offers because most cylinders take as much as 30 days to get done.
You can call or text Stewie at his personal cell phone, 314-324-4440, or you can Google the Bagel Loan, NMLS 226715.
Get inside your Redbirds and the 2026 season every Tuesday at noon. It's All Access with Cardinals manager Ollie Marmol on your voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
You know, it's Shark Week, and I'm just thinking to myself right now, we're playing this, and I'm guessing our next guest has probably heard that no less than 3 million times in his life. And every time he does any interview on any radio station, anywhere ever, he probably hears that song. It is the Chris and Amy Show, and it is Shark Week. That's right. It is Shark Week on Discovery. This has been going on for decades now. I used to watch it getting ready to go to college. I remember it'd be Shark Week, and then we were in college. The school year would start. And we are now joined by shark tagger, conservationist, and researcher out of Southern California. Also on Discovery quite a bit during Shark Week. It is Keith Poe who is with us on the show. Good morning, Keith. How you doing?
Great, and don't forget, you're going to need a bigger boat, baby.
Yes, a throwaway line. It was improvised, and it turned into the most iconic line from that movie. So, Keith, it's Shark Week, and like I said, when I was getting ready to go back to college every August, I feel like it happened a little later in the year than it does now. Maybe I'm wrong, but this is such a fun week, and I know for you, it's probably even more fun because this is your livelihood.
That's right. And getting to go out on the water and look at things like we're doing with this show coming on tonight, with this mako that they found out in Mexico that we're investigating. This shark blows everything away on all the charts, the mako shark. Normally, the biggest mako sharks that you find out there max out at 1,000 pounds and 12 feet. Now, this thing is such an extreme outlier. It's unbelievable. It was 15 feet. So if you take a mako that's 12 feet, and it's 1,000 pounds. The heaviest one that's ever been weighed was 1,323 pounds, and that was back in 2013. So, once they reach 9 feet, every foot after that, they gain approximately 200 pounds. So, if this thing is 5 or 3 feet bigger than the normal maxed out size of 12 feet, and it's 13 or 15 feet, now you have a fish that's at least 600 pounds heavier. And if you put 600 on top, 1,300, now you have a mako that's almost doubled in the normal weight of 1,000 pounds, the grander they call it, and it's approaching double that size at 2,000 pounds. And if you look at all the commercial landings and the sport fishing records worldwide, there's over 100,000 of them. And none of them get anywhere near close to this. So this thing is so massive and so large, we had to go investigate it, and we went all in on it. We had put everything we had into it to go find this animal and find out everything we could about it, and that's what the show is all about.
The show tonight on Discovery is called Biggest Mako on Earth. It is at 9 o'clock Central Time, and you can record it, you can watch it live. And Keith, why is now the mako shark? That's the one that you are most focused on in your career. Is that correct?
It was early in my career because they're protected. And then once I started working with the researchers, then I had the permits that allowed me to start working with the white sharks. And last season I tagged, actually went on 5 trips for the white sharks last season, and I'm about to go again in 30 days. And the tags are coming in the mail now. And with the white sharks, I saw 160 in 5 trips, and I picked out 6 of them to tag and put the spot tags on, and the tags last for up to 7 years. And it was 3 16-foot white sharks, 2 17-foot white sharks, and the largest one that was ever tagged, and that's 18 foot. And these sharks, a lot of times, these organizations, they'll do stretch measurements, and then a lot of them that are pulled out of the water, they'll be crane stretched. And those are all inflated numbers, and they have computer programs that inflate the numbers as well. When I measure them, those are true caliper-like measurements, and they're exact. And it's the largest one that's ever been tagged. And in 1 month, I'm going to go do it again because we found that new area of white sharks that was previously unknown. We're trying to find everything we can out about them, and finding that out through the largest matriarchs, the females, is the best way to do it. One of them that we named Cara, she did something that they normally never do, and she went all the way up to the Alaska border, spent several months, and then she went over by Hawaii. And another one left Southern California and went over halfway to Japan to the Gardner Pinnacle. So we found that quite interesting as well. So we're learning a lot of new behavior that we haven't observed before with them.
So, quick question about the white sharks, because we've talked to you about that. But how do you tag an 18-foot white shark?
Yeah, how do you know?
Like
Because you say you've identified some you want to tag.
Yeah.
How do you know where to find them specifically?
And then how do you do it if they're swimming around?
Well, like the Jaws story, it centered around people being killed. And we had people that were being killed here on one of the local beaches, Surf Beach. And then there were some kayakers that were being attacked in their kayaks, hit and raised several feet in the air on their kayaks and destroying them. So I went up there and we started observing that area, and we found a massive group of white sharks. It's probably one of the largest congregations in the world of subadults and adults. And when I am attracting them, we use chum, attract them to the boat. Then I use a trash can full of rope and a hook and welding gloves, and then they take off, and I fight them, and I tire them out. It's kind of like breaking a horse, and I convince them to come to the side of the boat while it's underway. And then I take and attach with 4 fasteners onto their dorsal fin, a spot tag that lasts up to 7-8 years.
So, okay, do they generally stay, how big is the area they generally stay in, right? Because my understanding is they can swim forever and really long distances, but do they tend to collect in one area and stay there?
There's one that I tagged that I named after my last name. Her name was Po Girl. We tracked her for 7 years. I've seen her 3 different times since I tagged her, and it was always in the exact same location again. And it's every other year because they have a 2-year migration cycle because their gestation period is 18 months. And generally what they'll do at my tagging location off Point Conception, California, is once they leave there and they've spent several months there, they'll go out halfway to Hawaii and Cabo. They'll spend 13, 16 months. And then she went every time around Cabo San Lucas into the Sea of Cortez, spent a few months, and we believe she had her pups there. Then she immediately returned straight back to where I tagged her, and she kept doing that, and she did it 3 different times over that 7 years, that exact same pattern. So yes, they come back to the exact same location, and it's not uncommon for me to see 40 different individuals there over a 3-day trip that are in the same exact location every year.
Have you ever, in the process of tagging a shark, just gotten in a situation where you're thinking, okay, this was bad, this was close, just, where you could have died or the shark turned on you, did something that was unexpected?
Yes, I've had one that was a mako that was 1,500 pounds, I believe, and that's estimated, not documented. That's a big difference people need to understand when they're looking at information. So she was 1,500 pounds, and I bolted a tag on her, named her after my daughter, Heather. And when I was fighting her, it took me many hours to fight her. She was so fierce. And in the middle of the night when I was fighting her, she stopped fighting. And she came up, swam up to the boat, stuck her head out of the water. She looked around, and when she saw me, she snapped her jaws really hard to threaten me and tell me that if she gets her shot, that she's going to take me out. She scared the hell out of me.
Yeah.
I've had them at the side of the boat before when they think they have a chance to try to bite me. They'll swing for me and try to do it. And I have to reach in their mouth and pull the hook out by hand. So it can be quite dangerous, but I think it's well worth the risk.
Do sharks, and you're talking about a mako here, do they do the thing kind of like dogs do where they bite as a warning? They're not actually trying to bite you, but they're trying to let you know, hey, stay away from me. Do they do that?
Well, that's what that one big mako did. But the others, if you get close and you've detained them and subdued them, and you're trying to get them to work with you because they're so powerful, but they will take a shot at you and try to bite you because that's their hands. They're trying to let you know, let me go. They want to go. So nobody wants to be detained, especially if you're a wild animal. But I've had them one that was a 11-foot 3-inch mako off the backside of Catalina, where I was hand feeding her a mako, and then I caught her and tagged her, and I tried to be as minimally invasive as possible. That's my job. And she came right back after I tagged her and released her and continued eating out of my hand. And that I found is a great success.
Oh, wow. That's very cool.
Why is tagging so important?
Well, if you're trying to manage something and you don't know where it's going and what it's doing, then you can't manage it properly, and that's what it's all about. There's just a big mystery about these sharks, and they don't know what they're doing. We didn't know there was a new tribe up there. We didn't know they were spending years ago all that time out there in the middle of the Pacific, and understanding where their nurseries are at is vital to protecting those areas, and they're studying their migration routes and preferred habitat just for the management purpose.
So the show tonight is The Biggest Mako on Earth. It is on Discovery. It's at 9 o'clock. We are just now starting Shark Week. Is there something that people don't understand about sharks that you wish they did?
All I can say is if you've experienced what I've experienced, then it never gets old. Every time you see them, it's absolutely a joy. I'm like the little kid in a candy store, and they're just absolutely fascinating. And their behavior, their strength, their power, and unlocking all their little mysteries. It's like an aquatic Rubik's Cube, and I get to go investigate it and then share with the world and also help with the management process. So I absolutely love it.
Go watch it tonight on Discovery, Biggest Mako on Earth. It is at 9 o'clock tonight, our time, Central Time. And Keith Poe is right there in the thick of it. And we appreciate you. We love talking sharks with you. So thank you again for being with us, Keith.
Thank you, guys. Have a good day.
That is Keith Poe. He is a shark tagger and a conservationist. He's out of Southern California, and he's a lot of fun and passionate about sharks. I love it. I love talking to people who are passionate about stuff like that and stuff that is interesting to the rest of us, but we don't really ever explore it unless we're watching Shark Week.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Remember the alligator guy? He was similar.
Oh, yeah. Alligator Rob.
Alligator Rob.
That's why I said we got an alligator guy. We have a shark guy. What do we need next?
We have a sinkhole guy.
That's Sean Malone.
Yeah.
He's an everything guy, though.
Yeah, what do we need next?
Bacteria guy.
We need a bacteria guy.
Ugh, I don't know.
We need a fungus guy.
Yeah.
Or fungi?
A worm guy. We had screw worm and tapeworms.
That's right.
Oh, my gosh.
Those aren't the good kind of worms.
No.
They're not the earthworms, you know?
No.
So tonight, Biggest Mako on Earth. It's on Discovery at 9 o'clock. It is Shark Week, baby. I love this time of year. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX. Gas House Gang at 12.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM, KMOX. And Doug.
Hot dog! Get your hot dog!
Customize and save with Liberty Mutual.
Hey, what are you doing?
I like your method. Direct. To the point. A little loud, but...
Listen, people don't buy car insurance the same way they do hot dogs.
Not yet, but both are customizable.
Popcorn! Get your popcorn!
Hey, this is a hot dog area.
And customize and save area. Get a quote at libertymutual.com or with your local agent.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Congress doesn't need more politicians. For nearly 30 years, Joan Von Dross dedicated her life to helping students learn, grow, and succeed. Now she's running for Congress to fight for lower healthcare costs, stronger public schools, and a more affordable future for Missouri families. Teachers solve problems. Politicians play politics.
I'm Joan Von Dross, Democrat from Missouri CD2, and I approve this message. Vote for me on August 4th.
Paid for by Von Dross for Congress.
The 3-2 pitch with the runner going a swing.
Ready to elevate your game? Join the MBA Sportscasters Forum on Tuesday, September 15th in St. Louis. Learn from Cardinals beat reporters, broadcasters, and Hall of Famer John Rooney as they break down play-by-play, reporting, interviewing, and covering the game. Then cap off the day with the Cardinals versus Giants at Busch Stadium. Step into the booth, sharpen your skills. Go to KMOX.com/events for details and registration.
Let me tell you something about insurance. When you sign your insurance policy, for some brokers, that's the finish line. Handshake, commission, done. Then you may not hear from them again until it's time for renewal. But your business runs all year, so do the gaps and the risk. So go to Supersure.com. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, CFO, or HR manager, it can be too complex to just go buy a policy online. Supersure is the super agency built for you, licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits, all with year-round support for you and your team. At Supersure.com, you can access tools like fine print facts. It'll translate your current policy into plain English so you see what's covered and what's not. Plus a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is worth so you know what actually needs protecting. Go to Supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform, all your policies in one place. Supersure.com. That's Supersure.com. Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
SNL Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call SNL. 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. SNL Coin.
Hey, it's Brew, and I feel like everything in my life depends on being connected. Whether I'm uploading a video, hopping on a call before my show, or video chatting with my family back in Michigan, I never have to think about my Wi-Fi. And that's why Xfinity stands out. You get the most reliable, fiber-powered Wi-Fi with the best equipment at one price for 5 years guaranteed. No contracts or commitments. Plus, you can get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Use of fiber or coaxial cable. Learn more at Xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi. Xfinity. Imagine that.
When Donald Trump needs conservative votes to help pass his agenda for Missouri, Representative Trisha Burns never answers the call. Trisha Burns has missed 370 votes. Burns is bucking President Trump's priorities. Burns did not vote to stop DEI initiatives, prevent China from owning Missouri land, defund Planned Parenthood, and Burns did not vote to ban boys from girls' sports. Trisha Burns not showing up for Missouri and President Trump. Instead, Trisha Burns spends her time pulling pranks on the suicide prevention hotline. Yes, you heard that right. Trisha Burns lied to the police and staged a fake suicide emergency. She sent a series of messages to the hotline and said she, quote, had a gun to her head, end quote. When she got caught, she said there'd be no consequences because she's a politician. By August 4th, vote to show Trisha Burns that there are consequences to being bad at your job.
Let's Go Brandon PAC paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. Chris Foss, Treasurer.
The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
We have an update from the Know It All texter and from my buddy who listens to the Chris and Amy Show. It was indeed hornets. He was attacked by hornets. Not hornets, yellow jackets. I had said hornets. It was a hornet nest in the ground, but hornets' nests in the ground are really, they're yellow jackets. They're not hornets. And so, update on the number, bad news, good news, it will take at least 1,500 yellow jacket stings. I mean, minimum. You're going to probably need to be over 2,000 to die from yellow jacket stings.
Most of us will never be in that situation.
Yeah, he got
so
6, which was bad.
That's good. You're not going to get my girl this time.
Nope.
So the Odyssey, the second weekend of the Odyssey was strong, about $87 million in North America. $87 million, that is, in North America, which brings the worldwide total for this Christopher Nolan movie to almost $640 million. This thing is going to do very well. And, I mean, it already has, but it might end up breaking some records here. Now, we talked about the format. We had Richard Roper on, the film critic, last week, talking about the optimal format to view it, which is the IMAX 70 millimeter. Because there's a 70 millimeter, there's IMAX, and then there's IMAX 70 millimeter, which is like the pinnacle of it.
And there's, 25?
25 in the country. There is one in Indianapolis. There is one in Chicago. And I looked at movie times when I was up there. It's in the suburbs. It's a town called Woodridge, and it's probably 30 minutes outside the city. And I've actually been to this theater before. I didn't know that they had the 70 millimeter IMAX thing. So I was curious, and I looked at movie times. They are literally showing this thing 24 hours a day.
That's
so
awesome.
You can go at 2:30 in the morning to a show.
That's
you can go
awesome.
at 7:45. And right now, the 2:30 a.m. later tonight, early tomorrow, there is nothing available.
Oh, my gosh.
There are 0 available
Wow.
seats. The only thing available are the wheelchair spaces.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's crazy. And I just read a story on CNBC about the IMAX 70 millimeter, which is becoming very, very popular, and people are traveling great distances. And there's an expectation that this will stay in the theaters for months, just so people can have an opportunity.
Yeah.
They talked to a guy from St. Louis, Mike Rolfing, who's 39 years old. He, his wife, and 3 kids drove 900 miles round trip in a minivan to go see this movie in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Wow.
And he said it was totally worth it. What I want to know, maybe he couldn't get a time in Chicago, which is closer, or Indianapolis, which is closer, or maybe they had family in Michigan, but a 900-mile road trip, which he said was totally worth it.
Wow. Well, there you go. I love the 24-hour movie. I like when things are open 24 hours. Makes me sad when I see McDonald's or gas stations closed.
I agree with you.
It's kind of
Coffee
sad.
Cartel, when it was open in the Central West End, 24 hours. But how do you... I don't know about getting out of a movie at 5:30 in the morning. So that's...
Then what do you do? Do you go to bed?
Because I would still be up. I would probably be up until 2:30. And then the movie's over at 5:30, and now you get home at 6. That's like working a night shift.
Yeah. Well, you should try it. See what happens.
No, I'm not going to do it.
See what you do. You get out of the movie and go, what am I going to do?
I don't think I'm going to do it. I would love to, though. I do want to do one of the English Premier League games. You go to a bar like Amsterdam, and they have a game at 6 a.m.
Oh, that's fun.
I've always wanted to do that, and I never have. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
But I think you would change your mind when your alarm went off at 5.
I'd be really like, no,
I don't
I'm not
wanna
doing
be
this.
here
This
right
is
now.
ridiculous. All right. Have a great rest of your day.
Hey, thanks.
Stay cool out there if you can. I'm not talking to you. I was talking to the people. Amy. We'll be back tomorrow at 9 a.m.
Yes, we will.
Right here. If you missed anything, you know where to get it. KMOX.com, Odyssey app, or wherever you get your podcasts. Back tomorrow, 9 o'clock for the Chris and Amy show. But coming up next, it is the Gas House Gang on KMOX.
Hornets are bad. They're the bad ones.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Money, sponsored by